Look at that. Look at the guy. He's just coming in right in. Look at that.
Beautiful.
He's like, I'm ready.
He's got a beer and a sandwich. He's ready to go, man.
This is a man who is prepared. He comes in, he's like, I come exactly upon my cue with the appropriate amount of beverages and food and a Bluetooth headset. Look at that. Look at that, man. Hey, everybody, what's happening? It's Friday night. Happy post-Thanksgiving to our friends in the States and elsewhere. I just found out that people extra United States or extra, I don't know, outside the United States, whatever the hell that term is. Extra patriotism? I don't know, what the fuck.
Expatriates?
People who may have celebrated Thanksgiving here in the States, or may have liked the tradition of just gorging yourself with food and being around your family for so much.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Especially really uncomfortable situations with family. Not that I know anything about that. That you've decided to take it upon yourselves to do that. So kudos to you and happy Schmagsgiving, or as I like to call it, especially here in Ravenloft, happy Fangsgiving. Sorry.
Or happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Sorry, we subjugated your race and caused your horribly, this is bad. Like, why did
we fucked up really bad.
We messed up.
Yeah.
Yay, let's celebrate. God.
That's bad.
This is the essence of Ravenloft, is just like coating over the real nasty shit underneath with like, yay, happy, and like, sinking down to the underneath. But hey, we're gonna dig up that nasty shit up underneath.
Well, 3 of us are broadcasting you from Lenape land, and we thank you and recognize your sovereignty.
Yes. Thank
you,
you, Sarah. Thank you for bringing that Lenape into. Yes. God, I don't have words. Anyway, I'm just the DM here, folks. How's it going? We've got Alex, who I think you're broadcasting from a different spot. Am I correct?
Oh, that's true. He's not currently in New York.
Yeah, you're not in New York. You're where?
Fort Pierce, Florida.
Florida. Nice.
Fort Pierce, yeah.
What's the weather like? Because I'm going to be there.
That's why he's outside and not frozen.
It's all right.
That's right. It's like in the 60s or something like that.
It's like, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to be there in a little more than a week. So.
I would congratulate you, except I hate Florida.
Okay, then. Well, we know that the extra angst that you take in from being in a place that you don't like is going to just seep into your character tonight. That's why you're drinking. I like it. It's good stuff. Hydrate. Hydrate with whatever you choose. That said, how's everybody doing? We're ready to start this shit?
So after the fact that Alex just broke me, yes, I'm good to go.
Yay. Except for the fact that I hate where I am right now.
Let it inform your character. This is what we call method acting.
It really is. It's like I'm in a place that I don't want to be. I'm stuck here until they let me
I feel like I've driven to Disney World 3 times,
Well,
so I had to drive back. I had to drive to Miami and then drive back, and then drive to Miami and then drive back, and then drive to Miami and drive back. And I'm sick.
You
did actually drive to Disney World.
You are the dark lord of your own domain now, because you just keep going around and around and around. You can't get out. They can't get out. All right, let's start this, shall we? Welcome back, folks, because it's time to come on back to episode 5 of Ravenloft, The Domains of Dread. So,
it's a long time since I could do an episode number on one hand.
5. So, you 4 have been pulled through the mists and are now employed by several ghost hunters to search the manor house known as the House of Lament. After 2 seances, you have been placed in touch with a spirit named Garland, who communicated to the 4 of you and asked that you retrieve the axe of the evil warlord Dulk Dranzorg, which was buried under the front porch, which Mick Mick picked up and in the latest seance has asked you to destroy the spirit of Mara Silvra. Now, Mara, just a little history lesson here, was a warrior from long in the land's past who assembled a group of soldiers to take back her ancient and ancestral castle, which actually once stood on the manor grounds, but now the only remnant of which is this tall, turreted tower. What happened next isn't really clear, but you have had inklings and visions that those who served her were walled up within the castle itself, in the same manner that Dalk Dranzorg entombed those who stood against him. During your first night here in the manor, you were all assaulted by horrific dreams, and then woke in different places within the manor. Claudiu, unfortunately, was killed by a creature within the cellar of the house, but rose from the dead with 1 hit point after a strange encounter with dark, mysterious forces. The others found him, unknowing what had occurred, at which point the magical cat creature and its kin attacked, and the combined forces of your group was able to fend them off. You found a nearby room with a wall unlike the others, but were not able to find anything behind or within that wall. Your search continued up to the 3rd floor, where you found an odd amulet in a chest, as well as the insignia of the god Ezra etched into the wall above one of the beds. Muadnhait was almost pulled into a bag of holding by a creature who made it its home, called the Bagman, and was thereafter repelled by a magical door in a nearby nursery, which seemed to have a ghostly toddler as its host. And then, finally, somewhat scared out of your minds and extremely tired, as the night wore on, you all explored a family room with a painting which had a hinged edge. And as Muadnhait opened it, she found a small recess in the wall. And in that recess, you see several items. Not anything seemingly that dangerous, but I'll tell you what you do see. You see a lockbox, small steel lockbox, obviously locked. As well as a very long black feather. There is also, next to that feather, a velvet pouch. That is what you see.
Well, it didn't kill me. That's good, I suppose.
There's also been a redemption, just FYI. Something spooky this way comes. I'm not going to spoil it yet. Spookiness tends to occur when spookiness wants to occur, but it will happen.
I will. Is there like a table or a coffee table in this room?
Yes, there is actually. There is a coffee table directly behind where you're standing, actually. Sort of.
I will
faded.
mage hand these items
Okay.
out of the room.
Luckily, the
Or
lockbox
out of
the
thing.
recess. Yeah, I get you.
Out of the recess and onto the table.
Yeah, luckily the lockbox does not seem to be super heavy, as the mage hand, skeletal and sort of wisps of ghostly flesh, sort of emanating from it, comes out with the lockbox on it and places it gingerly on the table, and as well as the pouch and the feather.
Where's our companion?
Oh, Arthur. That's right.
Arthur
Arthur has
went
been.
back down.
That's right. You guys inquired if Arthur wouldn't mind going downstairs and speaking to Alanic Ray.
He may have went through some things.
Yes, he went through some things, especially with that little kid. ghost kid, shall we say.
Oh, yes. All right, well, nothing here has tried to kill me so far, but I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think I'd rather sleep and deal with this in the morning.
That seems like a wise idea.
So, you guys want to just leave the stuff and head downstairs?
I thought we decided we were sleeping in this room. That's what we came in here for. Yes?
That you don't know? I mean, there are beds elsewhere. There are no beds in this room.
Well, there's couches, there's a floor, there's a piano.
That's true. Now, as good a time as any to show you the rest of the audience where you guys are. I mean, nothing you haven't seen already, but yeah, there you go.
I guess it's not important where we sleep, huh? We were teleported last time we slept in the room with everybody.
It's also true. Well, we weren't all together the last time, so maybe if we're together this time, it'll prevent any oddities.
We were actually together last time. We were all in the same room with the ghost
Going to
hunters.
say,
Were we? Sorry,
Yep.
I guess my memory's a bit muddled.
Yes. Don't you remember Amnestria throwing a bedroll at you?
No, in fact, I don't. Strange. At any rate, we either take these items with us and sleep elsewhere, or we leave them on the table and sleep here. It's entirely up to you.
Is it rest time?
It does seem approximately maybe 1 or 2 in the morning. As funny as you sort of talk to each other, is it rest time? You hear from the corner where you didn't see it because it was sort of hidden and shrouded in an enormous amount of cobwebs, that there does seem to be some kind of device that you hear sort of make these strange bell-like chimes.
Like a grandfather clock?
What corner is that coming from?
It's coming from the corner of the room right in the sort of to the far east of the room. And then it bongs and keeps sort of chiming over and over again. I would say, just from perhaps your own backgrounds and or upbringings, Claudiu, you probably have never seen or heard this, just because Barovia doesn't have this kind of level of technology. You know, we're talking like late 17th, early 18th century technology. Amnestria, considering where you're from, I would say the answer actually is that you do know what this is. Mick Mick, I would like you actually, considering what's happened to you.
History check?
Yeah, make a history check. That's a really good point. Yeah, let's see if you can remember.
11.
Okay. Sorry to be this guy. It rings a bell, but
Well, I mean, you could say it rings his bell, but no, I don't think so.
yeah.
And why not?
I'm gonna go ahead and say why not? No, most
That's
certainly not.
That's fair. Unless I'd seen one in wreckage, you are correct.
Yeah. Even then, I don't think, considering where you're from, you probably
I
would
wouldn't have
never
known.
have seen this in a wreckage.
That's fair. That's fair.
So can I say that maybe Mick Mick counts the bongs?
Yep.
Yeah.
It did bong 12 times.
12 times. Okay.
That felt
So even though
ominous.
Mick Mick doesn't know, he heard 12 bongs. So
yes, the clock.
And I'm sorry?
It is a clock used to tell time. It's midnight.
And then so it must be bedtime, in which case I will drink a bottle of wine. Would anybody like a bottle of wine?
Have my own thanks, but I think I'd rather just go to sleep. I'm gonna go curl up in this chair.
All
And
right.
I picked up some when I was down in the cellar like you did, Claudiu, so I think I'm good.
I think Claudio will go look out the where's the window?
Are there windows?
None of the rooms that you have seen so far, except for one on the second floor, have had anything but completely boarded up windows. This room is no different.
We're on the 3rd floor.
Cool.
You are now on the 3rd floor. That is correct.
Sit on this corner of the couch and drink.
As you guys sit in these chairs or chaise lounges or whatever, just a huge poof of dust comes up from these extremely aged furnishings and just sort of settles in the air for a second before slowly floating back down.
Does the door have a lock on it?
This door that you are next to does
Yes.
not have a lock on it. There
That's
is,
the one we
however,
just opened.
another door, a double door, next to Muadnhait on the other side of the room. And you can look over there if you'd like.
Okay. Can I close these doors?
Sure, you can close them, absolutely.
As Amnestria goes to close the doors, Mikmick will just say, just before you close them, I just want to nick down the stairs for a sec, see if I can get some writing materials from Alanic and Arthur, because we all had dreams last night, as far as I know, and I just want to notify them down so we can maybe put our minds together and try and figure out what these dreams were.
Okay. You're going back downstairs, Mikmick, then, by yourself?
Yeah, only for a short bit,
Sure.
and then coming back up.
Absolutely.
Well, basically going downstairs, asking for some what would be the equivalent of a pen and paper,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and then heading back upstairs.
Sure, but you're going by yourself, right? Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you step out of the room. Do any of you guys want to go with him or no?
No.
No, wait, bye.
Cool. All right.
Have fun.
All right. Mick, you head downstairs to the... I'm not going to move you from floor to floor. I'm just going to sort of narrate what it is that happens. You move down to the second floor. The stairs creak under your feet. You use the axe to sort of guide your way. And carry
Still using
your
it as a walking
lantern.
stick.
Yep, you still have to use a light in order to see. All the rest of your compatriots seem to have some way of guiding themselves in the dark without having to worry about light, but you unfortunately still do. And yeah, you move away from the study down to the second floor. Please make a perception check.
Perception? Straight perception.
Yes, please.
So is this listening or sight-based?
It is sight-based.
Okay. So 7.
Okay. So
Rolled at disadvantage because he's only got one eye. So
fair, completely. Yeah. Depth perception.
if you're wondering,
I love that you built this into your character. It's great. So much fun.
As you wander down the flight of stairs and sort of make a quick loop in the darkness of this hallway to go down the stairs back down to the first floor, out of the corner of your eye, you see with this floating sort of light around you, something passes directly in front of you and then continues to pass and goes directly through you like a force, and you feel like someone has just taken all of the breath out of you. You are cold as you've ever been that you can remember. And then a second later, all the goose flesh on your arms just stands up like blades of grass. What do you do?
That is a good question. I think he won't bother with it much because he's focused on getting downstairs first, knowing that may have just been it just may be his eyes playing tricks on him again. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't think he will bother it with much. And following Claudiu's advice, he won't mention that to the ghost hunters just yet. But when he gets back upstairs, he will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something spooky this way went.
Indeed, it did.
Okay. Go back downstairs to the first floor. You pass down the large staircase to the main floor. Pass by the sort of strange, feathered, antlered statue in the middle of the main hallway, and then go into the main parlor where you were last night, where Alanic and Arthur and Cabe are made their camp or base or whatever you want to call it. Where they're staying. There is a light on the table. A lantern that sheds light into the hallway, and you do hear voices inside. You hear Arthur's voice saying to Alanic, it was the most frightening thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And Alanic responding, very good chap. I mean, you're apt to see some really frightening things in a haunted abode. And then Arthur's response, no, you don't understand, Alanic. It was a child. It was a child from my army days, and it was here. It called me father, and but it's just the house. It's getting to you. It's we know that there are spirits here. They mean us no harm. They simply are not knowing that they are in fact deceased. No harm at all. Oh, and then they notice you, Mick Mick. Hello. Where are the rest of your compatriots, Mick Mick?
Just thought I'd come down and let you fellas know that we're going to be resting upstairs in the parlor, or there's a little lounge room upstairs. So I just thought I'd let you guys know in case like last night we all go missing, you'll know where to find us. And secondly, I came down to see if you have any writing implements.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for letting us know. Arthur looks over at you, Mick Mick, and says, Not the nursery.
No, next to the nursery, but yeah.
He sort of looks at the floor and sort of starts to wring his hands a little bit, and he says, that's good, that's good, I guess. And Alanic says, yes, sort of gives a quick glance at Arthur and says, righto. Writing implements. Yes, we do have some. Here, I have some loose sheafs and some quills and some ink, if you so desire.
Yes, I just like to write things down once I see them. Maybe get a layout of this house and see if I can put it all together.
Absolutely. Sure. Sort of wheels over to the table, grabs a few sheafs of paper, hands them over to you, quill, ink pot.
And Mikmick will try and hold them all at once while we're still holding a great axe. So probably like sheets under sheets of paper.
Allow me, good man, please. And he sort of like goes over to your pouch, just stuffs the ink pot in there, folds the sheets of paper. Oh, you have a pouch. That's right. He's
got his gauntlet of holding.
Sure.
The hand of holding.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stuff everything in here.
Can only do small components, so he'll probably still have to carry the paper.
Put the quill behind your ear. I often do. And trust me, I believe those ears could hold. Yes, definitely a lot. Shall we see you on the morn then?
Well, here's hoping.
Yes, the storm is quite egregious. I don't know why it's not stopped yet. I haven't seen a storm last this long in Quite a long time.
Well, I mean, forgive me for asking, but how many haunted houses have you actually been in?
Looks over at Arthur. Four. Yes, approximately four. Haunted, specifically haunted, perhaps four. Other types of engagements, many more.
So is this thing common, or?
Wouldn't you say the word thing? I don't know to what you're referring.
As in inclement weather around houses that are haunted.
My good man, inclement weather. My words get out before I have the lip service to speak them. Inclement weather is all we know here in these lands. Often.
So yes, it is regular. So I think until we actually try and weed out whatever is haunting this place, is probably when it will clear up a little bit.
You seem to know more than I.
This is just me guessing, but I mean, it would make sense because I mean, when places are haunted, it's all dark and dreary, kind of the edgy kind of feel, if you know what I mean. But
Have you had many
well,
experiences with haunted houses then, Mikmick?
houses as a general rule, yes, but I'm, as I said, I'm remembering bits and pieces of my past, and one of the things that comes back quite clearly are houses. And I feel like I've been in quite a few in my past, be it both haunted and not haunted, broken, not broken.
So you are beginning to remember things of your own past. That's a good sign.
Yes, portions, but as I said, it's only coming back in bits and pieces. But the longer I've been in this house, the more I'm, well, interested in the house rather than the things that may be inhabiting it, be it spiritual or physical.
Well, hopefully the house isn't as interested in you. And he sort of looks at you for a second. I was kidding. I was just joking. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. See what I did there, Arthur? I made the little man uncomfortable. Arthur says, "You're a fool, Olenek. Stop it. You know that's why you love me." Anyway, sort of adjusts himself in his chair and says, "Mick, is there anything else I can do for you, my good man?"
I think you've given me all I need to maybe unlock more of what I've done in the past, more of my memories, but well, we're all gonna take a bit of a break. I think that interaction that we all had may have shook us a little bit, so we're all gonna take 5, as they say.
I hope you take more than 5, my friend. You'll need it.
I feel like I don't need it.
Oh.
Feeling as awake as I'll ever be.
To each their
Even
own.
at this time.
Anyway, we are about to take our respite here. Arthur, of course, needs his 8 hours. I need my 4. And Cabe, well, as you can see, and Alanik points over to the corner, and Cabe is just out like a light. Early sleeper. They like their sleep.
Well, you do get a good rest. I think being in each other's embrace shall help both of you out.
Oh. He sort of puts his hand to his mouth and says, "Arthur snores quite a lot. So I try to, And then he points to his ears, and there are earplugs. But that's all right. We all have each other at our best interests. Have a wonderful evening, Mick Mick. Stay safe."
You too. and I don't think I need to tell this to you, but well, let's just say. Actually, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
That's okay. That is perfectly apt for Mick Mick.
Yeah.
Mick is just like, he starts, he's like, and then he just turns around and goes back up the stairs.
Yeah. I just yep.
It's totally. We're not Amnestria and Claudiu. I'm assuming that you guys just begin your long rests then, I assume, yeah?
Indeed.
Okay. Mick, on your way back up the stairs, your lantern goes out.
Shit.
And you are bathed in darkness on the second floor.
I think he still does have his infusion.
Okay. What do you want to do?
No, as in he still has the infusion, the light lint.
Absolutely. Oh, that little piece of lint that you
Yep,
sort of...
that he made.
So you
Glow.
pull... How long does that last?
I'll just double check that. think-
Is it an infusion or is it a tinker?
He's using his artificer ability. So
If it's one of the magical tinkering objects, it literally lasts indefinitely
yeah, it's magical. tinker.
until you instill that same quality on a new object.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you
Yes.
pull out the glowing bit of lint from your gauntlet.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, you pull it out. You're like, oh, thank God. At least I have my... Ah! And right in front of you, you see a woman's face. That's not the thing that's scary, though. What's scary is that you can see through her. She is semi-diaphanous in appearance. She has a long, flowing purple-black gown. Has some sort of old but very nice sort of costume jewelry, or perhaps real jewelry. Also see-through. And her eyes are sunken, sort of see the outlines of her skull underneath her translucent skin. She has a beautiful sort of cravat or hat, and she carries in her gloved hands a ragged but beautiful parasol. And she looks at you holding this glowing bit of lint. She says, "Hello?"
Mikmick will reply in kind, even though he's a little bit taken back about the thing that he can literally see through. He's like, hi, how you going?
I have a very beautiful piece of art that I'm going to show some here, guys.
Ooh. It's like ghostly Mary Poppins. I like it.
Love it.
Nice.
She's got sort of a little veil over her eyes a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And her look is not necessarily one of happiness. It's more sort of concern or vague interest. She sort of floats 1.5 feet off the floor. Her dress in sort of, almost as if she's underwater. She says, "Hello. Who are you?"
I'm just a visitor to this place. Are you, forgive me for asking this, but, you may be one of the Hellhursts?
She sort of cocks her head a little bit slowly at you and says, "Yes. Yes, I am. I am Lady Theodora Alvrest. Who are you?"
Well, hello, I'm Mikmick will try and hold out his hand as he's trying to hold the paper under his arm. So it's kind of paper in the arm, under the arm, holding out for handshake while holding the axe in the other hand. It's kind of a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mikmick. Yeah, I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am, but I'm here and I'm just trying to figure out what's happening in this place.
She sort of gives you a quick look up and down, and she says, "What's happening in this place is..." And she looks at you very sternly and says, "We cannot get out. None of us."
Are you being held here against your will, or is this just
Yes. She interrupts you almost immediately as soon as you say "against your will." She says, "Yes. We are all here against our will." Little sort of
no?
ectoplasmic, sort of diaphanous tears begin to form on her eyes and sort of bubble down onto her cheeks and then sort of begin to float into the air.
Don't cry there, lady. I mean, we're the people that I'm with. We're kind of trying to figure out how we can rid this house of this curse that is keeping you here. But I mean, we've kind of come in not knowing anything about this place, so everything's moving quite a bit slow at the moment. But well, we're doing what we can. Just wanted to ask, we've been noticing the walls bleeding a little bit. This may sound weird, but we're not hurting you, are we?
Her face sort of screws up a little bit and she says, "Do you believe in Ezra?" She almost like ignores your question entirely.
I'm just trying to think if Mikmick would. Honestly, I've been having a bit of trouble with my memory. I don't even know who Ezra is. Though I think there is one person in our little group that does know quite a bit more. I think he'd probably be more the best person to ask about that
Where
question.
is this one who believes in Ezra? Like her eyes widen, almost with need, with want.
Okay. This is going to be weird. Mick will say, just upstairs in the lounge room. I can take you there if you would follow me.
She sort of like shakes her head a little bit and then says, "No, I cannot." And then she like looks to the sides of the walls and then up in the ceiling. And I'd like you to make a perception check based on hearing this time, please.
Okay. Hearing. He's got no trouble with his hearing, so it's just a normal roll for perception. 10.
You're not sure, but you can hear that the walls are sort of emanating sounds like whispers, like like just the vaguest emanations of sound, maybe words, you're not sure. Could be creaks in the walls, it could be something worse, but this ghostly figure is looking at the walls and the ceiling as if something is beckoning to her, calling to her, communicating with her. And she's looking extremely worried. She says, "You must hide from the hungry things. The hungry things in this house. They will be the end of you. And then you will end up just like us. And then she fades. And she is no longer there.
Okay, so after taking a bit of time to focus about and trying to register in his brain what's just happened, he'll continue walking to get upstairs.
Okay. Amnestria, yeah, I would say, you hear the sound of this whole intercession, this intermission, if you want to call it, be with Mick Mick going downstairs, meeting with the ghost, probably in real time took about this amount of time, 20 some odd minutes. So, you're probably sort of on the way to getting ready for sleep when you hear footsteps coming up outside the door.
Oh, it's probably footsteps and a clunk from the axe.
Yep, and then like a little glowing light under the door frame.
Anyone, is that you?
Yeah. Got a few things I experienced downstairs, so yeah. Thought I'd better discuss them with all of you. Will you let me in, or do you just want me to stay out here?
I don't think the door's locked.
The door's open.
Yeah, the door does not lock.
I can't reach the handle.
Too much stuff. He's laden with shit.
Amnestria would open the door for him.
Okay.
So Mikmick will come back inside, head over to a table and just dump the stuff he got from Atlantic. And he will just say, yeah, on my way down, I think one of the spirits in this house kind of passed through me. Got real bad chill after that. Do you know anything about that happening, Amnestria?
Well, I'm surprised you made it back here in one piece. That's for sure.
And secondly, the spirit of Theodora came and talked to me.
Oh, that's interesting.
Saying that herself and I'm assuming her family are all trapped within this house.
I don't think we needed her to tell us that for us to know that.
And the
No, we
fact that
actually might have.
if we stay here, we too may become trapped like they have been.
Well, the other spirits, I suppose, that we've encountered have all been related to Mara and Dalk Dranzorg and this Garland that we still don't know who he is, but the Halverists came into possession of this house many, many years later.
Also, there was one other thing. Claudiu, are you still sober enough to think for yourself?
I'm never really quite sober. Mick.
Because apparently Theodora asked me if Ezra, if I believed in Ezra. So I said that I don't really know that much about her, but that you may know more.
She is my patron. She is a goddess that walked into the forest with a sword. She has a long sword and she wears long white robes and she has flowing long black hair. And people venerate her for her protection and her healing ability. Her symbol is the belladonna. And if you don't know who she is, well then you probably don't worship her, do you?
I know very little about the ethereal gods. probably not an area that interested me in the past, but yeah, maybe if you go downstairs, maybe you can get into contact with her and maybe talk more in depth about Ezra,
The
because she
gods.
seems like Ezra could help her in some way.
The gods won't protect us in this place, that's for sure.
This I have
Gods
to
and
check
monsters are
into
all
what
one and the
Maeve
same.
has said. I cannot. I must agree with Ree that I don't think Ezra will be of any assistance in this place. Sit,
Wow.
sit.
You never know with these places. I mean, there's something keeping them here. I mean, I'm just, what do they call it? Spitballing here. But
My
what
guess
if
would be.
Ezra is keeping them here?
Why
My
would
guess.
Ezra be keeping anyone? Didn't I just tell you that she was the patron? She was the patron of healing.
Exactly. Maybe staying here will heal them in some way.
If anyone is interested in my opinion, I think it's the ghost of Mara Silverhand that's keeping them here.
Silvra. Mara Silvra.
Mara Silvra. I knew it was a Sil.
It was Sil something. Gotcha.
Sorry, playing too much Cyberpunk. Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
Mara
How do you know
Silvra.
it's not? How do you know it's not the ghost of? How do you know it's not the ghost of Garland that's keeping them here?
Well, we still don't know who Garland is, so that's part of the problem. But
And we're running errands for him.
I'm trying to find out who he is. I still don't trust him. But
I think
from the dream that I had last night, it was Dranzorg who was in the tower and Mara who was standing at the bottom screaming at him. And it was Dranzorg who threatened to bury the people in the walls. But it was Mara who tried to force her people to stay and fight. So to me, if those who came after, long after, are trapped here, then if this spirit is still inhabiting this house, then maybe she's still recruiting, and that's why they're stuck. That's what I think, anyway.
while Moinite is telling what her dream was, Mikmick is quickly moves over to the table and just writes it down phonetically, or what the word is. Pretty much just writing down what she says, what she saw in her dream. Okay, so
I
Moinite,
see that and I say, well, that's the first time a man's ever been interested in what I had to say when I wasn't singing. Thank you, Tiny Man.
Well, I mean, I think putting these dreams together is one of the ways we may be able to figure out what actually happened here and how maybe we can, for lack of a better word, cleanse this place. So, Amnestria, do you remember what your dream was?
Yes, I suppose I do. There was a swamp. I was marching in armor. And I was following someone. I don't quite remember who, but the people around me were ragged and tired, and someone called out asking for my aid, and before I could even think about helping them, they passed.
And Mikmick will write that down. Okay, so you're in your dream. You were part of an army on a forced march. Would you say?
You could say that. Actually, the armor at the top of the tower reminds me of that dream.
Well, that is the armor that I saw Mara wearing in mine.
Makes sense.
It was hers, but it was Dolk who was at the top of the tower. At least in that moment.
What about you, Claudiu? Do you remember what your dream was?
I was riding a clumsy steed through the mist. Matt, do you remember my dream? Because I forgot it.
That's what I was asking.
Yes, I believe I do remember your dream. I believe yours was. I believe yours was that you were floating above the castle.
Yes, that is correct.
Holy shit, my memory. Who knew?
Mm.
And you saw Mara Silvera at the topmost point of the turreted tower. You saw through the slats, and there was this look of anguish on her face as she had essentially tried to rip her own ring mail apart with her bare hands. And it sort of created this almost tear down the middle of it where that sunburst symbol resided. And she just had this enormous look of pain and anguish and hatred. And as she did so, these sort of strange forces of shadow started to fold in on top of her. And that's when you woke up.
I relay
Yeah,
that
cool.
information to Mikmick.
And again, Mikmick will notify that down on the paper, and then he'll finish off by saying, "Okay, and I think I've already told you what I saw in my dream. I was, well, for lack of a better word, I think I was as a noble of some description, being entombed in one of the walls while I was still alive. And I think it was Mara that was put in the last brick, so
Which wall?
that's what I was trying to figure out before. If I could recognize one of the walls.
But it
Well,
was
Mikmick, do you remember any details about the wall? Maybe the texture of the wall, the color of the rock.
All I know, it was stone. I mean, when the vision or the dream started, I was inside the walls, so there's not much that I could see other than the inside of a wall.
But it was Dranzorg who threatened to entomb the nobility in the walls, not Mara. Are you sure it was her you saw? How do you know?
The crimson armor. That's one of the features of the person that I did see, was that crimson armor and a female. Though she looked a bit, what's the word? Disappointed? Distant?
Disheveled.
Yeah.
Disillusioned.
You guys are like a
Claudiu-
walking thesaurus here. I'm loving it. It's great.
Well, if
Yeah.
Claudiu, if you,
Maybe
pale
she,
one,
maybe it's a shapeshifter of some kind, some shape-shifting creature
or perhaps
that is
those
both Dresnor or Dresnor and this Mara lady.
Or perhaps the shadows that the Pale One saw surrounding her possessed her in some way? Or
Or she
transformed
just,
her or changed her?
well, she just lost her mind.
Why would she do the thing that she feared was going to happen to her people?
Maybe you have something. Maybe it was some sort of possession. With that hand in the fireplace.
I understand Mara wanting to protect her home from this invader. And as yet I have seen nothing to believe that she would entomb her own people in the walls. Especially when that's what she feared most from Dog Dranzorg.
I don't know, I'm not a ghost hunter, but maybe we should unentomb them.
Nor am I, but I'm beginning to agree with you that whatever dark magic has taken this house, be it spirits or simply dark magic, well, we're not leaving here until we get rid of it, and I, for one, would like to be out of here, so?
The clock chimes again.
There's that infernal racket again. Where is that coming from?
I told you it's the clock. It's in the corner.
I
Just get
do
to
not
point it out.
understand what a clock is.
It keeps
I
time.
believe it means that we have spent an hour having this discussion.
No,
Just
Mikmick
a
gone
guess.
for a while.
Oh,
Just a guess.
then in that
Strange
case, I
way
think
to
we should
measure
all
time.
maybe just have a rest ourselves and maybe just have one person just on watch. I mean, I can go on first watch. I've still got a few things to process.
That's a good idea.
I do agree with the tiny one.
I will sit here on the couch.
Okay.
Well, if we're going to rest, let's rest.
So,
Agreed.
it sounds like you're all ready to take a good old long rest, which is great.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah, Mikmick's on first watch.
perfect. Here's a cool thing that you can do now with an awesome API from Roll20. I believe this works anyway. I haven't tried it for a while, but I believe that if you guys go ahead into chat and type the word, well, actually type exclamation long rest.
All one word?
I believe so, yeah. That should replenish all of your spell slots that you've used. And then I believe it may, in fact, do all that other cool stuff, such as up your...
It did
Nope.
nothing.
It did nothing.
Nothing.
It did.
Nada.
Interesting. I have to
But
take...
we're
Unless
low
it's-
level, so replenishing doesn't take all that.
That's fair. I have to take a look into that API and see why it didn't work. But such is life. Maybe I have to
means we're-
configure it.
We'll get to lose our stress.
Maybe it's like...
Yeah.
try.
I'll look at it during the break and figure out why the hell it went wrong. But that's fine.
Oh, it looks like it worked for me.
Oh, there you go.
Weird. Did not. Maybe I have to highlight my token before I do it.
Maybe.
How do you? I'm assuming you have to remove my little stress token.
I do, but I will be more than happy to do so.
No.
Yes, your all your long rests remove your stress. Stress. Of course, stress is cumulative, so if you had 1 nights of long rest would remove only 1 of your stress points. But in this case,
Fair enough.
early on, only level 3.
That's right. With
Level
me now.
2.
Level 2, my gosh, that's right, you're not even level 3 yet. But we'll see how
Don't
that
mess with me,
works.
because I'm really excited for my bard.
I know.
powers,
Well,
so I'm
we'll have
like,
to see how things progress. I have
Alright.
things and plans and devices.
Stuff.
Survival is kind of topmost of my list at this point. So,
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. So
all right.
I'll
In that
just-
case, you can bring your hit points to maximum, half your hit dice back. All your slots come back for those of you
Right,
casters.
I have back.
And yeah, all of your ability types, such as
All my
rage,
bardic
etc.
inspirations
Bardic
back.
inspirations, etc., etc., etc.
Rages that I haven't had a chance to use yet.
Rages that you haven't had a chance to use yet. Insult to injury. Apologies. That said, I would
Do
like
we all awake in the same place?
I would like you all to roll d6s.
God damn it. 4.
Also a 4.
Hmm.
Oh, Mikmick rolled a 1.
Yes,
4,
not
1,
one.
5, and a 4. 2 4s, a 1, and a 5. Okay. So
I think I got 6 last time.
it's different the second night. So here we go. The interesting thing is that the four of you each have a different experience than you did the first night. Because as you lapse into sleep, or a trance, or whatever it is that your particular kind is used to, you all either have a dream or a waking vision that puts you into a different environment than that you were in just moments before. It doesn't matter if you took the first watch, or the second watch, or the third watch. Whatever watch you took, it matters not, because you all have the same experience, which is that. Give me 1 second.
You're all perfectly fine.
How would that be?
Nothing happens.
Yes, you all have the same experience. You're all great. You're all running through a field of daisies, and there's a beautiful... No, that's no. Hold on. Okay. This is good. This is good music for it. The four of you stand in a stony ballroom of sorts. It's a ballroom only in that you remember this space, but it does not look like what you remember it being exactly when you were there last. You remember that large ballroom with that beautiful stained glass window and the voice of Dalk Dranzorg speaking directly to you all to forsake Mara Silvra and join him. But instead now you are in that same space, only it is made entirely of stone. And you are on your knees, all four of you. You are bound. You are gagged, so you cannot speak. And the only sound that you can hear, besides the ragged breathing of your compatriots next to you, is the sound of someone walking behind you in large, heavy boots that click back and forth as this figure paces behind you. And the figure says in a deep, resonant voice, "So, it is down to the four of you then, is it? Who shall be first? Shall it be you, Mick Mick? Or you, Amnestria? Or perhaps the one who calls herself Muadnhait? Or the drunkard, if you wish to call yourself that, Claudiu? You each have your own lives to go back to. But instead you stay here, finding that you have no way home. Such a pity that you wish to join the rest of us. Perhaps it shall be you. And, Amnestria, you find your hair pulled back by a mailed gauntlet that grabs the scruff of your hair and pulls your head back. And as your head is yanked back, the face of this person whose hand has pulled you back comes into view. And you see, peering down at you from what seems to be an enormous figure, perhaps 6.5, almost 7 feet tall, standing behind you in rusty chainmail with rivulets and plates all over their shoulders. A figure with a skull, an oversized skull for a helmet. And he says to you, "No, not you first. You have things about you which I would rather save for later." And he pushes you, and being that your hands are tied behind your back, you go face first onto the stone floor. He walks then behind Claudiu, and his helmet comes down to sort of be right next to Claudiu's face, and sort of looks at him up and down. The three of you can see that he's sort of stooping down to look at Claudiu. He's just an enormous figure. And he says, "No, not yet for you either. You have the protection of someone that I would dare not deal with." Stands back up to his full height, walks away from Claudiu, and then walks over to Muadnhait and stands directly in front of you and says, "I understand you don't like men very much. Well, you're not going to like me very much, that's for certain."
I smile at him around my gag.
"Spirit, I like it. Perhaps I'll save you for last." And then he walks to Mikmick and sort of gets down on his haunches, because Mikmick is on his knees and can barely come up to the guy's waist. And looks at you, Mikmick, and says, "You're the inquisitive little spirit, aren't you?" "Yes. I think you will be the first." And he reaches out with his mailed hand and puts it over Mikmick's face. You all watch as Mikmick begins to struggle. Mikmick, your face begins to burn with pain. Underneath this ragged bandage, you feel the left side of your face begin to just ache. And behind your back, your hands just shake with agony. And then you hear ting, ting, ting. Something falls out of your gauntlet. You don't know what it is. And you watch, the three of you, as Mikmick's hair lights on fire. He looks like a little Roman candle. And underneath his gag, Mikmick begins to scream. And you just hear the echoing laughs of this figure. He releases Mikmick, and from behind he pulls that familiar axe that Mikmick was using this whole time. And with one hand of this enormous blade, he swings up and then comes down. And then the four of you, in whatever space that you're in, wake. And I'll tell you where it is that you end up. Mick, you wake up with a point of stress. Sorry to say.
That tracks.
Oh, very much so.
That tracks.
Giving you a point of stress here. Come on, the number one, please. I guess it doesn't want to work here. Right? Take the number one. All right, I'll just go for there, and until you get more than 1 point of stress, it's going to be the number. It's just going to be 1 point, but then it'll go up to 2. I'll figure out how to do that. I know if you click on it and then you hit the number 1, it gives you a 1 before, but whatever, it's fine. Mick, you rolled a. Let's see, you rolled a 1. Mick, you are no longer in this room. I'll tell you where you end up. Okay. Okay. Mick, you awaken, freaking out. Your hands immediately sort of just go right to your head. And you feel cold and wet. And the noise is roaring all around you because you are outside in the middle of a rainstorm. And you look down and you are high up above the house. You're actually on the roof of the house. You see around you there is a metal sort of fence about your height that encircles the very top of the house. Actually, yeah, you wouldn't be able to see very much except in the dim light of the of the lightning, perhaps, of the storm. You don't have you could take your lint out, probably, but that wouldn't do you a whole lot of good. And not 10 feet from you is a rather large trap door. You do see that there is a chimney, which is assumedly one of the chimneys of this house, right next to you. But it does give you a commanding view of the lands surrounding, which unfortunately are all completely surrounding you just see a foggy netherworld around this house. And above you, angry storm clouds. The roof is covered with these loose-looking shingles. And you also see that it's, because of the rain and perhaps has moss, that the roof itself is quite slick. So that's where Mikmick begins his morning, shall we say. Okay. Claudiu. Drop you from there. You, with a 6, wake in.
I thought Claudiu had a 5.
A 5, sorry, a 5. Beg your pardon.
I can't see anything.
Yes, I know. I've taken you from the room. Okay, cool. Claudiu, you are not too far from the room that you started in. You actually, in a room right over here. You awaken on this enormously long bed, which you remember had inscribed behind it the symbol of Ezra. It was one of the rooms that you guys explored before. Beyond that, you don't see any of your companions.
Well, I immediately stairs to where the rest of the group is. Gentlemen.
Okay. We did have a redemption, common Tarokic redemption. We'll get that very shortly. I'm just going to grab these 2 others, and we'll do that redemption. And that would be for Mikmick. All right. So, ladies, you go together. You wake up together, surprisingly, because you both got 4s.
Yes.
So let me grab you, and because you end up together, boom. You end up, however, on a totally different floor from the one that you were in. So let me just bring it on down to where you start your day. You both sort of awaken at the same time. And I think you both sort of sit up, and you both bonk your head on something rather low to the floor, because you see that you're no longer on the floor of the parlor, but you're on the floor of a sort of dusty-looking room with a table over your head. And there are chairs all around you.
I kick a chair out of the way and climb out to see where I am.
You are, in fact, in the dining room.
As I
Downstairs.
Poseidon's beard this again.
Um,
And
Had a good
actually,
last night.
I stride out of the room because I want to go back up to the attic and retrieve the items that we found behind the painting the night before.
okay. Amnestria, what do you do?
Well, after she kicked the chair out, she's just gonna climb out afterwards, but just kind of take the chair, kind of just kick back, put her feet up on the table, and just relax for a bit. Not really gonna bother following.
Okay. Let me do that.
I can't see where we are. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I'm gonna
not.
move you to the map in which, because you can move certain
Okay.
people to certain maps. So I'm just gonna move you guys
Cool,
to
cool.
that map. I can just grab you and move you. One
There we go.
and Sarah to that map as well. Boom.
Ah, there we go.
So
Well, it said hatching dragons. I might still need a shift ping.
that's okay. I'll give you that in a sec. Now, again, apologies to those of you at home watching because everybody's in different places.
There we go, I
So
found me.
let's.
Ooh, I'm on this map twice.
You. Oh well, let me take you off the other side.
I can see me on the stairs with everybody else.
Oh,
on the
that's
floor.
right. Because I haven't been coughing and copying and pasting. So I'll just take you off there. I'll take you off there. I'll take everybody off there because you shouldn't be there. Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. So whilst you guys do what you do, let's just start with Mick Mick. Mick, what are you doing? That will very much depend on what happens next with this common draw, this common Taroka draw.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what you do.
Can I make a roll for it? Just a D2 roll.
Sure.
Two
I love chance. Let's do it.
Okay, so.
I don't even know what that
Okay.
means. What is a 1? You should have told me before.
Well, with a 1, he notices the loose shingles on the roof, and something draws him to fix the shingles on the roof.
Okay. You just wanted to fix the shingles on the roof? Sure. Absolutely. Make a quick perception check as you begin to fix the shingles. That's cool. I like this.
That's well, not one yet. That would make sense that he's not even thinking about going back downstairs.
Yeah, that's fine. I love it.
Perception.
Oh, 21. Excellent. You notice something glittering on the roof near to your hand as you begin to sort of fix these shingles. Much brighter than the slate gray tiles of the roof.
Okay, move closer to investigate it, see what it is.
It's circular in nature. It's about yay big. It's got sort of a clamshell top, but it seems to close like that, but it has a button in the middle. And it's made out of either brass or maybe even gold. You're not sure.
Okay, player knows what this is, but Mikmick doesn't know what this is yet. So Mikmick will pick it up and open it and open it and.
Yeah. You press the button and you hear like a little like gears moving inside and springs, and the clamshell top sort of opens, and inside this device, I guess, you see a strange insignia of a sort of reddish, sort of almost maroon symbol of a dragon. I'm going to give you a handout of what this thing looks like. When I can find it.
Yep.
Here we go. And as you sort of pick it up, you see the little, it sort of like has little arcs of electricity. Like, as it almost sort of vibrates in your hand as you pick it up.
Oh, Mikmick will store that in his hand of holding. And when he meets up with the rest of his party, he's going to ask about it.
Okay. Cool beans.
I still love that it's called the hand of holding.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So you're on the roof. He's on the roof. Fixing the shingles in the middle of the rainstorm.
Yep.
Cool. Love
Yep.
it.
As you do.
As you do. Absolutely. All right. Let's move to Claudiu. Claudiu, where are you? What are you doing?
I'm moving down the stairs. I already moved myself to the stairs.
Okay, cool. So I will bring you down to the first floor or the second floor, depending. Where are you going?
Down the stairs.
Okay.
Going back to the room where the gentlemen are.
Okay, that's the first floor. Okay, cool. So that's actually quite easy.
Alric or Aric or what was his name?
Are you talking about Alanic Ray?
Atlantic Ray. Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. All right. So yeah, you go down the stairs. The rain is coming down quite heavily now, and I will move all of you guys then to this map, except for Mick Mick, because
Well,
Mick
why
Mick's-
not is heading up
Who's
to the
completely different side of the house.
Oh, Mick. Oh, so it seems that why not would be heading up whilst Claudiu
Everyone
is
else
moving
is-
down.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys can meet each other wherever you want in the house.
We can absolutely pass in the hallway, but my Not is on a mission to go retrieve the items that they found the night before.
Gotcha. All right. So we'll leave Mick Mick cleaning the roof, fixing the roof. You guys can do whatever you'd like here. But before we leave Mick Mick, let's do this common draw. Let's do this common draw. Here we go. Let's see what happens from this. This is... Ooh, this is interesting. This is a card called... where is it? Here it is. Come on, bring it on over here. It's called... Where are you?
I can see it.
I can see it too. I just want to zoom in on it. Here we go. It's called the Charlatan. Yeah. What is the Charlatan? Okay. Here we go. Charlatan. Oh, I love the art. Look at that.
So cool.
Ooh, nice.
Very cool. All right, let's talk about what the Charlatan does. Specifically for Mick Mick. Here we go. Okay. Mick Mick, as you're standing on the roof fixing the tiles, and the lightning flashes, you gain a memory back as you affix this device to your gauntlet. You remember a voice saying to you, "Yes, Mick Mick, you're doing so well. Just keep on doing what you're doing, and you'll be my apprentice in no time. You've learned so much. Don't give up. Only those who do... Let's try this again. Only those who lose faith in their abilities fall into despair. You would never lie to me, would you, Mick Mick?" This voice suddenly becomes very cold. And I would like you, Mick Mick, in your memory, as it stands, to make a deception check.
Okay, deception. There. This is going to be fun because -1. 13 though.
Not bad. Mick Mick, somehow, with this memory regained to you, you now know that you can do much more than you ever did in the past, that you were actually quite a skilled liar, skilled persuasive individual, skilled motivational speaker, perhaps even. But that said, these memories seem to flow through you like water. So you will have advantage on all charisma deception and charisma performance checks for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
That's what you
It's
get.
going to be interesting.
Okay.
The persuasion and performance, right?
Persuasion and perform. No, sorry, deception and performance.
Deception and performance. Okay.
I'm going to double check on that. I'm pretty sure I said deception and performance. Did I say that?
You did.
Yes, deception and performance. Your advantage. Okay. Let's zoom out and see what the rest of you folks are doing. I'm interested. Let's go.
I am at the top of the stairs, making my way up to the attic.
Okay. No one stops you. So I can move you there if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay. Amnestria. What about you?
Amnestria would have wandered into the main hall where the eagle statue is with the antlers.
Yeah, you see Muadnhait going upstairs, and directly after, maybe I don't know, 10 seconds after, you see Claudiu coming down the stairs.
And she would just wave, sort of half-heartedly. Like, she notices you, but then she'd remember, wait a minute, we should go get that crossbow bolt back from the doorframe that I've left there for a night and a half now.
Yeah. Now,
I think she's going to roll for
yeah,
that.
you're going to need to roll for it to see if it still is worthwhile taking. So,
D20, right?
yep, D20 and 10 or above, and it's fine. 1 to 9. Okay. Oh, yeah, natural 20. Now, on natural 20s, you don't get 2 crossbow bolts. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I figured
It's
that.
like, oh my god, they multiply. No, you just get it back, and it's in pristine condition.
Awesome. What you know is I don't roll anything good on right now. That's how that goes, though. It's okay.
It all evens out in the wash. All right.
Exactly.
Okay, and then I assume after you grab your crossbow bolt, you go where?
She is going to go back into the foyer where the ghost hunters are. Just to try to wander in there now that that is done with. I had to update the build, so I remembered how many I had.
No, not at all, not at all.
Yeah. So she's just gonna kind of wander into the room and just look around, see if they're in there.
Oh, yes, they are. Let me bring Arthur back in there, because I haven't used him in there for a while. Arthur Sedgwick. There he is. Except he's very small, so I'll make him bigger. There we go. And there's Arthur.
Sort of look over at Arthur. And, did any of you move tonight? Or are you
Oh, good morning.
staying?
Good morning, Amnestria. Hello. My goodness, what a storm. It's getting quite horrid.
We're in here, and the storm's out there, so not too worried about it.
Very true, very true. Cabe looks over at you. Cabe is working at the table. And they are looking at the board. And they have a very sort of concerned look on their face. I said, oh, hi.
Something wrong?
Oh, no. No. I'm fine.
Can I make a perception check to see if he's lying to me?
You can make an insight roll to see if they
Thank
are
you.
lying to you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see now. Insight.
Non-natural 20. Clearly very bad at lying.
Amnestria would just sort of saunter over and just look at the board. It's like, are you sure nothing's wrong?
When you look at the board, you see that several of the icons in the middle of the board have been scratched out. Almost as if they've been rubbed out, not with an eraser, but like scratched out with something sharp.
I see why you'd be concerned by this.
Yes, I guess so. Nonetheless, we will still have the seance tonight.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Oh, I have no doubt in my mind that it is a. They look over at Alanik, and Alanik sort of nods and says that it is a perfectly fine idea.
Do they seem believable by this?
You could make one more insight check.
Yeah.
Hard to tell, to be honest. Maybe not quite sure, to be perfectly frank.
Well, fair enough then.
Okay. Claudiu, you come down the stairs. You can, by all means, move yourself if you'd like. As you are here.
As Moynat just brushes past you on a mission.
Upstairs.
Okay, I'll move. Hold on 1 second. Oh, my browser closed.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Come on back when you're ready.
Move myself inside, guys.
Ah, it must have been cold. Not.
No,
No?
no, it's just that the outdoor area is right next to Ola's parents'
Ah.
bedroom.
Well, yeah. They're probably like, who's out there? Who's talking?
Yeah, exactly.
I hid in the spare room of my in-laws to play on Wednesday. I understand you.
I remember that. That was fun.
As soon as it blows up, I'll start moving myself. Or you could just move me into the room
Yeah,
where
sure.
Alanik
Absolutely.
is.
You move into the room. Amnestria is there. Cabe is there. Alanik and Arthur are also there. They seem to be sort of moving about, getting things ready. As lightning and thunder sort of echo around the house, Arthur constantly sort of looks up at the ceiling, whilst Alanik is getting his papers ready for the day. They notice you as you come in.
You look muted.
I don't believe so.
He's moving his mouth and not. I can't hear anything.
He wasn't before. Oh,
Actually-
yeah. Now it looks like you're muted. Yeah, that's weird. Did you hit the
While
mute
he
button?
figures out, while he
Go ahead.
How
while
about
he
now?
figures out
Oh,
his
there-
sound, there you go. I was gonna say, can I actually retcon something as I brush past him?
Sure.
I would like to pull off one of my fingernails and slip it into his pocket.
Okay, sleight of hand. Bless you. Let's go with a sleight of hand, unless you want him to know that he is getting a fingernail.
I'll go with the sleight of hand. If he questions me, he questions me.
Yeah,
4.
it's pretty clear. Just because of his
Little bit
passive
obvious.
perception is, it's not awful.
Oh,
But
yeah, I'm sure.
You're like, pull off your fingernail and like
What
pop it in his pocket.
you doing? And what I don't notice that?
Oh no, you definitely noticed.
You definitely has it. I'm just going to let him say, just in case.
In case what? Why are you giving me a fingernail?
Well, I'm running upstairs to find all the things we left behind last night, and so if anything bad should happen to me, I can let you know, Take it, I can talk to you.
Okay.
It's like a teeny, like, I don't know if you guys can
Yeah.
hear that, but it was like
Yeah,
when Alex
that's me.
speaks. Yeah, when
That's
yeah.
me.
yeah. That's just your
That's
And I
own.
will-
that's
I'll
that's
put
some
it in
kind of
chat
a,
for you. I just
Okay.
gave him an eerie token.
That's fine.
it'll go away in a second.
Okay, cool.
So, as an action, I can send a telepathic message to the creature holding or carrying the token as long as you're within 10 miles.
Ugh.
So I can send him a message of up to 25 words. I can also enter a trance as an action and see through it and hear through it if I need to.
Nice. That's great.
But mostly that's just saying, I had some shit fuck me up yesterday, so
Fair.
take this, and if I'm in trouble, I'll let you know.
I have a
And
question.
I'm just gonna,
It,
yes.
Like, I'm assuming that the fingernail like, grows back, right? It's not like you're like, I can
Yes.
only do this 10 times, right?
No, eerie
Pull
token.
your teeth out. You're like,
It can be a tooth, a fingernail, or a lock of hair, and they all grow back the next day.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool.
So I'm missing a fingernail. I'm assuming it's like the pinky off of one hand. So.
God damn.
So I'm missing that fingernail for a day.
Okay. Noted.
It's incredibly gross, but that's okay.
Damn right, bitch, and I love it.
Claudiu does pretty gross things, so it's totally all right.
All right, guys are the
Would
gross
that
group.
make her bleed though?
It doesn't.
This is messed up. This is messed up. Welcome to the
Hex
mess.
blood, baby!
Well, I walk into the room and I go, well, good morning, I think. Hello.
Oh, hello. Yes. Oh, now there are two of you. Hello. Arthur's like, good morning.
Good morning, Arthur. How did the night pass for
Oh,
you?
I was quite comfortable. Arthur was well, he was fine. He smiles. Cabe's like,
Was he now?
Arthur said, I had terrible dreams.
Oh, well, at least you wake up here.
Hmm. With that said, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I should probably have some wine. And Matt, I reached for that other bottle of wine.
You've got like
And if I
7
could-
bottles left. In
I
your
know,
bag.
but
Oh,
there's
I know
the
what you
bottle
want. The one with the cat,
That bottle.
the cat blood.
Yes.
the cat bottle. And how many times do you think I can use that?
I think
before
probably
have to actually-
3 times should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll hold me over for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
So I take a swig of that one. I put the cork, pop the cork back on it, put it in my pack, and then grab another one and start going at it.
Like everyone in the room like stares at Claudiu like, wow, hair of the dog, man.
So
Little early,
What,
but what am I to say?
what are you gentlemen doing for breakfast?
We were planning on just going through with my usual repast of nuts and berries and the occasional.
Is he a squirrel?
No, I'm just I'm not a I'm a I don't like
Out
meat.
of game.
I'm a vegetarian. I don't like the taste of
I'm
meat.
not in the
It
room. I
dulls
was
the
just being
brain.
snarky.
Oh no, yeah, sorry. For some reason, that's like you hear this. And we're not hears this, and she just communicates to Claudia like, "Is he a squirrel?"
No, I'm not in the trance. I don't actually.
Fair.
That was just.
But
out
you
of
do
game
notice that
therapy.
he's got like a spread of like berries, nuts, bread, jams. Nothing with like eggs. No dairy products.
Claudia looks over at him and
He's
goes,
a
well, I know a
vegan,
few
okay.
things that dull the brain. And I take a swig of my wine. Anybody here have some pork products, the meat products?
Or opium. I mean, what?
Arthur says, I do like a good sausage in the morning. Nicely fried. No, not that kind. Sorry, out of, god damn it, Gabe, you fucking people.
Well, would you mind if I ask you to fry me one of your
Sarah, stop. Sorry. Stop it, Sarah. You're killing me. Don't clip this. For God's sake, don't clip this. This is not what I want. I don't stop it, Maeve.
Did you say clip this?
Don't. God damn it. It's not supposed to be that
Well,
kind.
would you mind frying me up one of your sauces?
Yes, of course, I would be more than happy to. And he sort of takes out a small, flame set or whatever. Like, just he lights it, and this sort of flammable material comes up, and he puts a small pan, and the smell of frying sausage vents through the room.
Wonderful. Thank you. So much appreciated.
Absolutely, my man.
You know, Ree, I woke up by that bed with the symbol of Ezra engraved on it.
Yes, I do remember the symbol of Ezra. Yes.
It's
God.
an interesting bed to wake up in. That room is quite, how do you say this, haunting.
Well said. Well said.
Well, I woke up underneath a table with my knot, but not much of a cuddler. Unfortunately.
Can I ask you, gentlemen, a question?
By all
How
means.
is it that when you gentlemen rest in this room, you are not scattered all over the home?
Alanik, any thoughts? Well, that is a good question. I don't know. Perhaps there's something about the four of you that makes you different from us.
Yeah, I really don't believe that is the case, yeah.
Well, you're entitled to your beliefs.
I don't think beliefs have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I agree that beliefs have nothing to do with it. Frankly, there is something going on to us that should be happening to you as well.
Well,
Logic dictates that if something occurs and does not occur to the same object, that there is something different with that object or person.
Those four objects it's occurring to, and it's occurring to none of you. And why is that the case?
It is a mystery. But one we shall solve, I assume, by the end of our travails together.
oh, we'll die trying.
Ah, your sense of humor again. Yes.
Oh, some of us will.
That said, you're all still here, from what we've seen, correct or not? I've not seen your diminutive friend.
Or me.
I've not seen him either, but I did see the long dark-haired one
Ah, yes.
running
Just about to ask
the
about her.
stairs, yeah, to the attic. Yeah.
Yes, Muadnhait, I believe her name was, yes?
Yes, I believe
It's the one
that
who
is
I'm going to
her
have to pay for, it seems.
name. For that little device that you have on the table there.
Yes, of course. Well worth it, I would say, for the information that it's been
Really?
able to deliver. But I'm glad that all four of you are safe and sound and not in any way slowed down by the events of the past 2 nights. Perhaps tonight shall be somewhat invigorating, special.
Splendid. Truly splendid.
Well-
I will partake of this sausage here if you don't
Oh,
mind.
no, Arthur, please, plate the man, will you? Yes, of course. And he sort of takes a small dish from one of the tables settings, sort of wipes a cloth over it, shines it up, and then places the flat sausage piece in the middle of it for you.
Nice, thank you.
By all means, sir. Once you've taken your repast, I assume you will be wanting to reconnect with your compatriots, other than the one here, yes?
To be quite frank with you, I'd rather just be here for a while. I'm sure that they will drift into this room at some point throughout the day. I'd rather not float around this house any longer. Maybe for the time being.
Understandable. Very, very understandable. Alanic looks over at Arthur. He says, "All right, old man." "Oh, yes. Perfectly fine. Just try not to go above floor 2.
Well, I don't think we're going to find any of the answers we're seeking in this room.
Well, perhaps you should reconnect with your long-haired friend and your rather greyish, shortish friend, then, whilst we entertain Mr. Claudiu here."
The boy just lacks sun.
I agree. I've never seen someone who looked quite like that.
I imagine he's been living under a rock for years. I don't know. I met him on the road.
Amnestria, what are you doing whilst Claudiu is breakfasting?
Just kind of examining the board. Trying to see if I can... I mean, I know that something sharp obviously did something to this board, but...
I'm
clean
not
it
there, but which symbols were scratched out?
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I will let you know. The symbol of the swords have been scratched out, and the symbol of the coins have been scratched out.
Well, I'm sure Mick Mick will want to write this in his makeshift diary notes.
Sure.
When we find him, of course. But if you're going to sit here and enjoy your breakfast, I guess I'll go look for him.
Very well.
If I must. Yes, Trio, just sort of step out of the room and head back upstairs.
Okay. Claudia, we're going to leave you there, and we're going to bring Amnestria back up to level 3, where everybody else is, essentially. So I'll bring...
Do I get my solo adventure upstairs?
You do, in a second. Absolutely. Give me 1 second to just take everybody where they're supposed to be and put them where they're going to be.
All right.
Look up for the back.
I'm not going in that room, thank you very much.
Okay. So, let me just...
Can I just do something a bit fun?
Sure. Fun me. Hit me with some fun.
Well, that tarot card that I just got gives me advantage on performance, right?
Performance and deception for 24 hours.
Well, what if I roll a performance roll to make it that Mick Mick's just singing a little tune on the roof?
Okay. To whom? Anybody in particular, or just like singing it to...
No, he's singing them to himself, but I'm thinking that if Muadnhait or Amnestria are up on the attic floor, they can hear him on the roof.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check then. And I'm not going to ask you to sing unless you want to. Red.
No.
Are you sure?
Ooh.
No, I'm not a singer like
Are you sure?
Sarah is.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Oh, come on.
I'm a little Mick, short and stout. Here is my axe, and here is my eye. I don't even know. What the hell? Nothing? Okay, fine. Make a performance check. Damn it. Oh, boy.
Did.
Good gracious. Yeah, that's... Yeah, pretty garbage. No offense, Mick. Even with it, yeah, you're just getting used to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm thinking that Muadnhait would probably be able to see the hear the singing, but it's off key and all this shit.
No, I would... with a 7 performance, if your intention was to have it be heard, she doesn't hear a damn thing. Maybe it's the rain and the thunder and the fact that you're just like, I'm singing. I'm singing. Nothing. So Muadnhait, you do not hear his amazing performance, unfortunately. But let me move ya all, except for our friend Claudiu, to floor 3. Muadnhait, yes, solo experience me. Hit me with some solo adventure. Choose your own, such as me.
Can you ping me? 'Cause
I
don't
can.
find myself.
Yeah, right there.
Nothing moved.
Interesting. Do you still have vision? Let's double check.
I think I'm still on the second floor because I saw nothing load.
Ah, interesting. We see you on the map.
I don't see anything either.
Well, you wouldn't see because Muadnhait is the only one who has vision.
Yeah, shift ping me
There
one
you
more
go.
time. Let's see if it works now.
Shifty ping.
No, nothing moved. I still
Okay.
have flick.
That's weird. Everyone on chat can see you. Let's see. Maybe there's a reason why that's happening. Let's just check.
I just zoomed out so I can see the whole board and it's black.
Well, let's try. Maybe there is a
Do
vision
you need to
problem.
move players to?
No, I don't think so. This is why you guys cannot split the party.
Hey, man. I'm on a mission.
I know. All right. Yeah, you all should be on this map. Tell you what I'll do is I will put Amnestria on it as well. Amnestria, can you see now?
Let me see now. Yeah, I can see.
You can see, but Muadnhait cannot.
I still got nothing.
Weird. All right.
Let me reload my roll 20 and see.
It probably is that.
Can it be that the
It could
doors
also be vision,
closed?
No, it's definitely not vision. She definitely has the vision.
because I don't
Is
have
that-
vision for some reason.
The door being closed wouldn't affect anything, right, Matt?
No.
Okay.
Nope, I just zoomed out to 20%. I still can't see myself on this map. It is all black.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Do I have control of the token that you
You
pasted?
should, yeah. Here. Okay, so first of all, Mick, now you should have vision there.
Yeah, now I have vision.
Cool. And yeah, let me just check your token. Your token has 60 feet of vision.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Do I have control of that token?
Yes, you do.
That's fucking weird.
It's fucking weird. Hold
Let
on.
me reload this again.
I'm just gonna move everybody to one map, and then I'm gonna move everybody else to another map. Wait a minute. That's why. Okay. Now it should work.
Alright,
because
there
you're-
I am.
That's because this is a note for you Roll20 users. If you decide to move people to different maps, don't forget that if you leave them on one map, you gotta bring them and pull them back into the big player's red ribbon in order for them to get the vision that you are showing on the screen. It's kind of not used that much because most people move with their parties, but if you ever have groups that sort of split off into different parts of the house or parts of a dungeon, you have to rejoin them into the player ribbon in order for them to be seen again. All right.
Excellent. Alright,
So there you are.
I've moved into the room, and I'm going to go immediately to the coffee table. Are the things that we found last night still there?
They are still there.
So first, I'm actually very intrigued by this feather. I want to examine this feather and see if I can figure out, honestly, anything about it.
Okay, fair. It is... Actually, before you go and do that, go ahead and make a nature check.
Nature check. Excellent. I will do that. Not my best skill, but we'll see what happens. A 3.
It's a very large feather, from a very large, perhaps, bird of prey. You're not quite sure what kind of bird of prey it may be. It could very well just as be an eagle as it could be that of a common crow or raven.
I'm more interested in what it was used for. Was it used as a quill?
You don't see anything on it that it would indicate that it was used as a quill. You don't see that it was, stained with ink. You don't see that the nib is sharpened or anything like that.
So I can't determine anything that makes this feather particularly special.
Nope.
All right, I will set that aside for the moment, but I'm assuming it is value or of interest because it was locked away in this hidden cubby.
That is correct.
The pouch. I'm going to open it.
Okay. Inside the pouch are tiny little pieces of jewelry. Many are earrings, necklaces. There are 9 of them. Let me tell you exactly how many there are and what they are. So, yeah, they're made of silver. Various things. Necklaces, earrings, small brooches, all of very fine make. Probably worth about 10 gold apiece. And there are 9 of them.
Earrings, brooches. 9 of them. 10 gold each. That's delightful.
The 10th item in that pouch, actually, is a rather large sort of brooch or amulet of some kind, as it has a sort of silver chain around the top of it. And it has a head of, very clearly, the head of a raven on it, inscribed into the silver. That one seems to probably be more, maybe 25 gold pieces.
And it was found alongside what I'm now assuming is probably a raven feather.
Yes, that is distinctly possible.
And you said that the lockbox is locked.
Yes, indeed.
For shits and giggles, I'm just going to try and pry it open with my dagger.
Okay. So you're going to try to force it?
Yeah.
Cool. Make a strength check.
Not super strong, but going to try it anyway. 14.
Not enough, unfortunately.
Not enough.
You stick your dagger in and give it a good... And your dagger begins to sort of bend a little bit. And you immediately
When I
pull
say
it
that,
out.
I pull it out.
Absolutely, yes.
I suppose I'll take this to the tiny one. Take another look around this room. There is another door over here that we didn't open, yes?
That is correct.
I want to go listen at that door.
Okay, perception check, please.
7.
You hear nothing.
I'm going to open it.
Okay. When you open this door, you see something that you're familiar with. You see that nursery.
Oh, the fucking nursery again. I'm not going in that room. All right, going back out and opening the door we came in,
Okay.
which I assume I opened on my way in,
You did. So, I'll go ahead and remove that.
with the other items, and off to head back downstairs.
Okay. Amnestria, you are on your way up to the 3rd floor just as Muadnhait is leaving the family room.
Hello, Mercurial one.
Have you seen the tiny one?
No, I have not. I just came up to find the things that we found behind that painting last night. They were still here, fortunately.
Well, that's good, I guess. But we're needed down in the hall, and I'm just looking for each of you.
So you haven't seen the tiny one. What about the pale one?
He's downstairs, eating sausage.
All right. So the tiny one, then.
Would they hear the banging on the roof?
Probably not. I mean, are you talking about the singing, or are you tapping?
No,
to...
I'm
Yeah, you
basically.
know, I'm gonna give you a check. Let's see if they hear you. This will be you have tools. I'm assuming to do this, correct? To do the repairs, yeah.
Nah. We'll just make. Well, he doesn't have a hammer, but he's got his hand. So
you're just slamming on the fucking roof to try to repair the shingles? This isn't
Well,
repair.
he
This is
doesn't have any-
sabotage.
he doesn't have like a hammer or anything on him. So
Axe. Use
These
the other side of the axe.
these shingles are loose. Bang, bang, bang.
pretty much.
Well, he had a high intelligence.
Well, he's a barbarian. Or partly anyway.
He makes do with what he's got.
Does he rage? That's the question. Real question. Does he rage before he slams the tiles off the roof? I would like to
Probably
rage.
not.
If I keep hitting the tiles, I will keep raging. Obviously. Make an attack roll with advantage. I'll go ahead and hand wave, and that yes. After you begin to talk, Muadnhait and Amnestria, you do hear sort of on the roof. You hear.
I'll be right back.
What in Hades is that?
I have no idea.
It's not part of the storm.
Well, it could be. I don't really know.
Don't believe so. It doesn't sound like any storm I've ever heard. But... suppose I've heard a lot of strange things in this house. Hello, spirit. You're trying to say something. Words are always better. Hmm? Well, that's extremely helpful.
Seems to be coming from the stairway that you guys opened before that goes up.
I'm just gonna I'll open the door.
Okay. That door does, in fact, show you the same thing that you remember from last night, which is the stairway up to whatever floor is above the third floor.
I'm gonna draw my rapier and be like, well, let's hope ghosts bleed like men then, I'll go up and open whatever doorway I find.
Yeah, at the top of the stairs, you see that there is a trap door on the ceiling of this space. A very heavy oaken trap door that is not locked. You do see that there was perhaps at one time a mechanism that would lock the trap door, but it is no longer in use.
I'm going to send a quick message to Claudiu through the fingernail that says, just so you know, might be about to murder a ghost on the roof. Check in a minute. And then I will open the door.
Okay. Perfect timing. Look at that. He's just like coming right on time.
I miss.
Like magic.
The trap door begins to open next to you, Mick Mick, and you see a hand slowly coming out of this space where the trap door is opening. It's long and has sort of scales on it. Long fingernails, except for one that's missing.
Can I make a perception at disadvantage, seeing as he's concentrating? on
Absolutely.
fixing
Yes. Let's see it. Bring it. And that was what we last saw of Muadnhait. That's
My
a 9.
familiar just came to help me.
Hello, kitty. You don't see anything other than this arm in the rain. Muadnhait, your arm starts to get wet again in the cold, wet rain as you are clearly opening the door to outside.
Quite happy about that.
Yes. Mick Mick. What do you do?
I'd like to say as I'm opening the door, I'm like, oi, spirits, coming out.
Mick Mick, you hear a voice you recognize. You just don't see where it's coming from.
I think Mikmick would just still concentrating on his work and just talk to Muadnhait, is that you?
I look back over my shoulder and say, found the tiny one. What are you doing up here?
I woke up here and the shingles were loose, so I thought I'd just maybe fix them up a little bit.
Like you do.
This entire house is loose. Why would you even try? Do you have screws loose?
You are a strange creature. Nevertheless, I think it might be better if you come inside. You are quite small and might get blown off.
Yeah. Probably should get back inside, but I don't like to leave a job half done sometimes, but I mean, we have more pressing matters, eh?
This is not the job we were hired to do.
I mean, yes. I think we have more pressing matters than fixing this house up. Don't you agree?
I do, and by the way, I have a box for you to unlock, so please do come inside.
Behind Muadnhait, you're just gonna hear Amnestria say, and they say I'm the crazy one. No, I'm not. Don't disagree with me.
I look over my shoulder for a moment, then just roll my eyes and go back downstairs.
Okay, so Mikmick will join them at the stars.
Okay.
The
The stars.
stars?
I assume you mean.
Stars.
But wow, we are going to make you an American, I guess. All right. Let's just knock you off the roof and bring it on over here. And there you are.
Sure.
Okay. So, you're all welcome to go wherever you'd like. I know that Claudiu is still on the first
Plug my
floor.
headphones, you little dick.
And, yeah, are there any parts of the house, I'll just say to the group of you, are there any parts of the house that you have not yet been that you wish to go?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We've done the whole attic. Are there any rooms? I feel like
mean-
we've
Well,
done
there's
the
the
whole
secret
second
room
floor.
that I tried to attack.
There's the bleeding wall room, which is there any? I don't. Is there anywhere on the first floor we didn't go? I don't think. So.
There's a few doors.
There are a few doors on the first floor that you have not yet gone into.
Okay. And I do need Mikmick to open this box.
That is true.
So, that's why I had Mikmick walk into the room.
No, I mean, I have it.
She has the box.
I have it with me,
She
but-
carried it with her.
I'll come in with
Okay.
you and say yes if you'd like to give this a try.
Let's get the thieves' tools out again.
Is
And that's
the
still a dex, isn't it?
Yes, Dex plus proficiency. Yes, Amnestria.
is the door where the bag of holding still open, or is it closed?
It's still open. Yeah, go ahead.
Just kind of peek inside, just see if the bag's still there.
Oh, the bag is very much still there.
I'm gonna leave now.
Okay, just making sure.
wanted to see. Yeah.
Would it be worse if the bag wasn't, though?
Probably yes.
Okay, then the bag is gone. Damn it, I missed my opportunity. It's fine. Yeah, with a 6, unfortunately, Mick, you do not have the ability to open this lockbox.
Lockbox.
At least, perhaps not yet.
Damn it! I mean, perhaps there's a key
My hands
hiding
are a little
somewhere.
bit wet still, so...
What are you trying to do? Open a box?
Yes. Thank you, Kitty. Well-
I'd like to try my hand at this.
What would you like to do?
By all means.
Sleight of hand.
Do
Wait,
you
what
have
would it be?
Do you have thieves' tools?
I don't think I have these shoes now.
Then it will be just a straight Dex check, without proficiency.
By the way,
What? I'm sorry. What was that, Sarah?
you do have a key in your inventory, I believe. Just putting it out there.
Caw! You have a key! Caw!
Oh.
Oof, man.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, you just try. You don't have tools, so you're just like take something out of your hair.
She just kind of picks it up, shakes it around, just drops it on the floor. Well,
What's an
So it's not a
Eladrin
fire.
doing with a bobby pin?
Oh, well, if that's how we do this. 10. See, I don't do any better.
Yeah. None of the three of you have the wherewithal, it seems, to open this lockbox.
I will, however, pull out the feather and say, I believe this might be a raven feather, but to be perfectly honest, I don't know. Any of you seen anything like this before, or understand why it might be stuck in a hidden crevice?
no idea. How did I roll the 1d2 again?
/R space 1d2.
Thank you.
Or just D2.
Or just
I just want to see if she even remembers she has the key, because I don't know if she does. 1 is yes, 2 is then. No, she has no.
That would be no. She forgot that she forgot the key.
Oh my god.
This is great. Okay.
I'm trying to remember, first of all, what is the holy symbol that we saw before?
So
That's
On Mara's armor?
yes, you saw a symbol of a
Sunburst.
sunburst.
That's a sunburst.
That's the Order
Does
of the
this
Raven.
feather look like it could come from the creature with black wings that dropped the planchette?
I'm sorry, could you say that question one more time, please?
The creature that dropped the planchette with the wings and the yellow eyes. Does this feather look like it had come from it?
If it does, if this thing had wings, like...
I just knew it had wings. We never discussed what the wings looked
Yeah,
like.
I mean,
so
you
that's
didn't
why
really
I
get a good look at it. I remember you guys rolling perception
Okay.
checks, and you didn't really see very well. So it's hard to
okay.
determine, to be honest.
Okay. All right. I was just scrolling through my
It
notes.
could have
right?
been just as well a mammalian creature with wings,
No, that's fair.
or
Or like a
or
fucking
a-
pterodactyl.
or
I
a
get it.
pterodactyl, yeah,
Or a bat.
or yeah.
I understand.
So, yeah, I mean, coming back onto it, now that you guys have gone through the rigors of trying to open the box, do you wish to explore the house further?
I think we should pick up Claudiu and go back downstairs first.
And he is downstairs.
He's
believe.
already downstairs, yeah.
I would actually like to go down and see if any of the ghost hunters knows how to open this box, because now I'm deeply intrigued.
Okay. What do the other two of you want to do?
I'll go down with her. There's nothing really to do up here.
Okay.
He'll be bringing up the rear
Super.
as usual.
I will grab you and bring you down to the first floor, where Claudiu eagerly awaits you, I'm sure. And I will bring you on down. Here you are.
Yeah.
Claudiu, the three other companions of yours, you see them walk in from the hallway whilst you're eating a hearty breakfast of sausage. Arthur's giving you seconds.
There
I
are two.
assume I finished. Okay, he's giving me seconds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every time you say sausage, I just want to laugh because I'm a 12-year-old boy.
That's okay. It happens. That's fine.
I'm just going to walk over and sort of just unceremoniously dump the box on the table and say, I don't suppose any of you are adept at picking locks?
Arthur says, I can't pick a lock to save my life. Alanic says, I've picked a share of locks in my time, but only at the request of employers.
What about the request of an employee?
Well, where, may I ask, did you find that box?
Hidden behind a painting on the 3rd floor.
Oh, how intriguing. Well, I suppose I can give it a go, unless, he sort of gestures to you, Claudio, unless you have perhaps more skill at this than I. Why are there two of you? No, there are not two of you.
Did I see one on the stairwell?
That's weird. What, on the stairwell?
Yeah.
Maybe a roll 20 glitch.
Yeah.
Reload your roll 20.
Oh, there we go. There
Now
are
I see
two of you.
over.
Yeah, okay, there. Now there's one. Now there is only one of you. Ha ha ha. There. So, yeah, Alanic motions to you, Claudio, and says, do you have any skill in picking locks, sir? Can he hear me? Alex, can you hear me, buddy?
I said I do not have any skill in picking locks.
We didn't hear you. I apologize. Must be my old ears. Well, I guess I should give it a try, then. And, he he wheels over.
Rolls.
He rolls to you. And, he will make a dexterity check. He does not have any tools specifically for this, so we'll just make a
Well,
straight...
technically, Mikmick
You could
hand
borrow
him
Mick Mick's
his tools back.
Yeah, but he doesn't have proficiency in these tools, so
Ah,
he can't use
okay.
the proficiency on it. He could just grab it and be like, I have no idea to do with this. What the fuck is this? So, there we go. This is a dexterity check. Here we go. That's a 21.
Oof! Nice.
Hot damn. So Alanic says, it worked. And you hear, and the top of the box opens.
And what's broken inside it because it was shaking around?
No, it was not. But I'll tell you what you do see inside. What is inside is kind of odd to you, except for maybe Amnestria. None of you have seen something like this. It's a sort of rounded... It's got a rounded top. It looks like it has some kind of a handle that comes down like this. A long bar of metal that has been inset into this wooden handle. And a It looks like a metallic trigger underneath, like that of a hand crossbow. But there's no bar on it. There's no line across it that would shoot a bolt.
Oh, is it like Lennox?
And Alanik says, "My goodness, how beautiful!" And he pulls it right out of the box, and he just holds it in his hand, like that on his artwork. Game knowledge. This is a pistol, as in firearms pistol. I would say again, only Amnestria. Excuse my voice. Only Amnestria knows the nature of this weapon.
They're just going to sort of look over at him and be like, "You're going to use that?"
I have no intention on using it on any present.
Well, that's entirely reassuring. What exactly is it?
This is a firearm. A hand firearm. It's a pistol.
At the word fire, she takes a step back and says, "You do not appear to be on fire."
It fires projectiles.
Yes, as the lady says. These, and he pulls out next to the pistol where it was inset into the case, a small, round, metallic, sort of, almost looks like a rock, but it's completely round and spherical. It says these are pistol bullets. Place them in the pistol firing charge. Aim at the offending individual and let the device do its work.
How many of those bullets do you have?
Within the case, it looks like there are 6.
I pick up one of the bullets and look at it. What is it made of?
Some kind of metal, dark metal, perhaps steel or lead. Mikmick, make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Kind of holds it. It's like, interesting.
Yeah.
And then puts the bullet back in the cage. In the box, rather.
Another whiz save. Nice. Whiz save. Where are we? Whiz save.
15.
15.
You remember what this thing is. You remember not only what this thing is, but you remember making something like this. It's not as rudimentary as this device, although perhaps a little prettier. But you remember making devices, weapons, like this pistol. But they didn't fire bullets. They fired, well, something else. And then that memory goes away. But if you picked up this thing, you probably could use it.
So, Mikmick will pipe up and say, this may sound a bit weird coming from me, but, I think I may be able to use that.
Or at the very least, teach someone else. Amnestria, I think you probably already know.
Yeah. Just gonna kind of look at Mick Mick and be like, "You're saying you want it?"
Well, I mean, I've only got close combat weapons at the moment.
I have a dagger. Are you gonna put down that axe?
I would if I could, but it, well, kind of matches this look that I've got going currently, don't you think?
You already have that very fancy and ominous looking axe, though.
A very strange creature, tiny one.
Well, whoever wants it can have it. Before we go any further, it is getting, interestingly enough, to the point where we may start beginning to think about the seance tonight, the afternoon comes apace. Do you have any interest in exploring the rest of the house?
Well, I think we've got more to explore in the house. However, when I woke up, I think something fell out of my hand, and he'll pull out that little device that he found on the roof and just place it on the table. And he was, would any of you happen to know what this is? I mean, I noticed on the back it's got my name inscribed on it. I don't remember it.
Arthur, Alanic, and Cabe look at this thing with looks of just complete, I don't know, just, they do not recognize this thing at all.
Take a look at it. I probably don't know what it is, but
I mean, if you
I've
want,
seen
you
a
can
lot
make
of
a
strange
roll.
things.
This
please.
is going to be very difficult,
that's fine.
but I'm going to allow you to do history checks on this thing.
We can all do history checks.
You can all do history checks, but the DC is going to be quite high.
I did not make it, but I did not expect to.
Fair. 12.
But it doesn't mean I'm not going to look. I'm curious.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is exactly as described.
Yeah, where's a shot?
I would
You wanna
like
give
to
it a
know if
roll,
I could
Claudiu?
investigate it to see if it has any sort of hidden compartments or properties that we're not seeing immediately.
It sort of crackles a little bit of electricity, but beyond that, maybe static electricity a little bit.
So an investigation roll would get me nothing.
Probably not, no. Claudiu, do you wish to roll a history check?
Let me try.
Sounds good.
Here goes my history check.
Hey, look at that.
Okay.
Love it.
I'm going to give you a little information, Claudiu, about what you know. How you know it? We can discern that later.
Give it to me.
This is an insignia that you saw once from a traveler who came from beyond the mists. And of course, we all know what happens to those individuals once they step into the lair of the Count. He was never heard from again. But this particular insignia was seen on his person. You saw him walking around town with perhaps a bunch of his adventurer friends. He kept mentioning a word with regards to this particular thing. Why, you don't know. Maybe he was just misspeaking it. But the word was, is it? And you thought to yourself, is it what?
Yeah, it sounds like 2 words.
Yeah, but the way he was pronouncing it, not is it, but is it?
Like I-S-I-T?
I-S-I-T or I-Z-I-T or something like that.
Is it? Can I see the symbol?
You certainly can.
Once you open it up, yes.
Yes. Once you open it up, you can hold the, you can see the symbol. I will show it again to you all. 1 second.
Yeah.
Show. A boom. There you go.
Oh, it's Mick Mick's trinket.
It is.
Yep.
I just say, I once met a man who walked in from the mist that had that symbol on him. He kept saying, is it? And I asked, is it what? And he just said, is it? I believe now it has come to mean one word, of which I cannot decipher. I'm going to need another bottle of wine.
I'm going to make a roll to decide if I, as a player, say this out loud.
Oh God. That's always a good thing to hear.
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
Okay, hearing is it. Mikmick would just kind of stare blankly. And then almost like a light bulb goes off in his head. He's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what, tiny one?
That name, it rings a bell.
No, it's a name, you think?
It is.
Or is it?
Ezot. Sorry.
Is that? No, we're leaving him behind.
That's the first. That's the first place my brain went.
Ezat? Is it? Ozit?
Is it Ezot?
Is it? No.
Might be. Nope.
No. It isn't.
It isn't Ezot.
It isn't Ezat. Jesus. Okay.
Is it?
Are you sure?
It
Isn't Ezot?
That's fine. All right.
You're welcome.
And
Yes.
yeah, Mikmick will just say, yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so interested in the house. It's
You left your
is it
picture.
creators, inventors, if you will.
Well, it's creators to the Halvarus, but it was something here. There was something here long before them, which I think is the root of all this. Well, would be. I don't know. I still think it's all just some dark magic and not this spiritual hogwash, but you know.
Why not both?
Why not both? Cabe looks at the four of you and says, I could start the seance in an hour if you guys are okay with that. It's up to you. We could do it early. I would really like to just get it over with, to be honest. Unless you have other places you'd like to be. Again, I'm sorry. I don't mean to rush you.
Hold on. Do you like your job?
I love my job.
Then why do you seem so reluctant to perform it?
I'm not reluctant at all. I simply want to do the best I can.
Can I insight check that?
Absolutely.
15.
You get the feeling that Cabe is really nervous, and that they want to get this seance over and done with.
Small one, come walk with me. I think there's something interesting you might like to see.
I would really prefer to stay here in this room, to be perfectly honest, why not?
You know what I'm trying to say? But please, I really do think you'd like it.
The cat, I'm sorry, the cat's killing me. It's like,
Here it is.
please!
Dang, tail in the face. This is what he does when I'm trying to sleep.
Make a persuasion check. You want them out? Persuade.
15.
As long as it's not for very long.
Not at all.
Okay, then
Just this way.
fine.
I'm just gonna take him over into the art. Or where's the gallery? It's over here somewhere. The art gallery, wasn't it like over here? Through this gallery?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I thought the door. I thought we left it open.
Yes, I can reopen that door. In
Yes,
fact, I should
I'm
just
gonna-
open all the doors that you guys have been to so far, just to
There
make it
you go.
easier for y'all.
There you go. I'm just
Boom,
gonna
you've
take.
opened
I'm
that
gonna take
door.
him to the creepy tentacle gallery.
Creepy tentacle. Oh, okay. I know what's going on there. There we go. All right,
Mm-hmm.
let's go. So they go. They follow you into the creepy tentacle gallery.
I was going to say. Now that we're alone, you seem uncomfortable somehow, as though somehow this place is making you nervous. What is it?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Moynot. I'm not particularly happy being here. This place is getting weirder every night, and I'm not particularly pleased with how dangerous it's getting for you all.
Us? What about yourself?
I haven't had anything happen to me, thank the gods, but that doesn't mean anything, to be for getting involved with me and Alanic and Arthur yet. I guess I don't know.
They who?
They meaning whatever is in this house. The things that have been, the things that they are here.
Is this normally how the three of you operate?
No, not really at all, actually. Although the Order of the Guardians is putting us in more and more strange situations every time. I'm kind of considering whether or not the pay is worth it.
Mm. And so you think that we are presently in danger from these spirits?
I think so.
Do you trust this gardener?
Garland?
Garland, yes, sorry. Do you trust this Garland?
I have no way to trust any spirit.
And that comes from your personal experience?
Mostly.
'Cause I don't terribly trust him either.
There's no reason why you should.
Seems my compatriots do, and that's what's strange to me.
Well, perhaps they have a connection to spirits that makes them more knowledgeable about them, or perhaps that they've had more positive experience with
Or perhaps
the
they're
dead.
fools to trust anyone that they do not know.
Our experiences color our decisions.
Thank you for your candor, small one.
Understandable.
And
And
I thank you for your concern. That is something to which I am unaccustomed.
hopefully you become more accustomed.
Not likely.
Their face goes dour after that, like, little brief smile. Like, they just...
Just looking at my,
I kind of give him like a little like stroke of the head, or them a little stroke of the head, and say, "You may go."
They look at you, like, incredulously, like, wow, demeaning much. Whatever.
They wanted to leave. I
Yeah,
was
no,
telling
it's like a
them
little
to leave.
stroke of the head. It's like, what is...
It was meant to be friendly and kind. Can I make a fucking performance check on that shit?
Sure.
Jesus.
Let's see it. Let's see it. 10.
Oh shit. The dice fucking hate me tonight. All of my rolls have been 15 or lower. I have been rolling shit.
No
all
natural
night long.
ones. No
I
natural ones.
know, but like even on my highly trained skills, I'm rolling like ass.
Well, let's hope the rest of the night performs better.
Yeah,
With
true.
that, Cabe comes back to the room and says, "So, listen, one last check to you
I'll
all.
wander back in behind him.
I can start this seance maybe even now if you wanted me to."
I thought we could only do seances in the evening.
I think, considering that it is almost the afternoon, we could do it whenever you want, as long as it's afternoon. They just prefer the dark. But if you take a look outside, I think you'll find that there isn't a single drop of sunlight that's coming through those clouds.
Oh, that's... Okay.
Again, it's only if you don't want to start. If there are other places in the house that you want to go, that's fine too.
No, we're welcome.
I mean,
I'm fine.
there are perhaps a few rooms on this floor we have not yet examined.
well, they seem very insistent on exploring the house, so let's go explore the house.
Perhaps
Should
up
just-
this hallway.
I mean,
Walk out of the room.
honestly, I think we've been to every room in this house.
I'm sorry.
And nobody has gone to the cellar to take apart the rocks. The
Are there
wall.
any doors in this hallway that we left unopened?
No.
Okay. I'll come back. Well, that hallway is fine.
Didn't we miss that door over here?
Where'd the
Why
Mercurial one go?
not?
There-
Why not?
There-
There we are.
Why
Is it-
not? Why not?
In there?
Yes, pale one?
Excuse you, pale. I am not the pale one. The pale one is the little one. Could you please remove your fingernail from my pocket?
All you have to do is hand it to me.
I am not touching your fingernail.
Fine. I will lean in exceedingly, almost uncomfortably close to him. Slowly slide my hand into the pocket and remove the fingernail. And I'll smile and say, I didn't take you for the squeamish type. Interesting.
Salty. Very salty.
And I will follow. Actually, if I say, Tiny One, are you coming?
Yeah, it's just, where will we be going first?
Well, it seems there's a few doors down here we haven't opened yet.
Oh, the way. Seems like you, the one that leads all the time.
You said that there was a door here.
Actually, it seems
That's
I'm
correct,
not.
Amnestria.
It seems the mercurial one has beaten me to it, but I am not at all upset about it.
This is the fireplace with a little one swept up.
feel like I need the correct one for this.
There's a doorway. There's a doorway right in front of Amnestria to the north.
Is there also one here?
There is, yes.
Okay.
Astria's just going to push this door open and be like, spirits! Are you there?
Okay. You push open the door. This room is odd, to say the least. Because you feel the wind blowing through broken glass into this room, which you recognize as a conservatory of a kind. The room itself is quite odd in that there is quite a large amount of foliage which has come into this room from all manner of things, but it's all dead. All of this, all of these desiccated vines sprawling across the tables and foggy glass windows of this conservatory definitely make you feel like this place hasn't been touched in years. There are rusted gardening tools and pots of soil lying scattered across the tables. You see that the conservatory has actually been sort of cunningly designed as both a space for comfort and to show off the work, perhaps, of the house's gardener. There are window boxes lining every free inch of space. And yet, there is this cloying scent of decay. Sort of begins as this annoying tickle in the throat, and then becomes quite stifling in its aroma as you walk into this space.
How rusted are these tools?
Thick, maybe a quarter of an inch of rust upon them. And as you step into this room, Amnestria, between eye blinks, the conservatory suddenly appears alive and filled with flowers. And you see, standing in the midst of all of these flowers, a transparent woman with a veiled hat and a parasol strolling through the room. And she sort of pauses here and there to admire a bloom or adjust a pot, and then looks directly at you. And as suddenly as she appeared, she vanishes and the room lies in ruin once more.
Well, I guess she didn't want to talk to me anyways. Whoever it was. Oh, look, a shovel. Just pick up one of the rusted shovels.
You walk towards the shovel, and just as you're about to pick it up, it actually starts to levitate off the table. And you're like, uh-oh, what's... And then the rake levitates off the table. And then the hoe and a pair of shears. All of these tools begin to levitate off the table and begin to sort of vibrate. And as they do so, we're going to take a break.
Nice.
All right. Alex, are you cool to stay with us for a little bit more, sir?
How much more?
Maybe another 45 minutes at most.
I should probably go, man. I'm actually pretty sick.
Oh, noes. Yeah, you go, and we will control the stuff that happens afterwards. Do you have any questions for the final seance? If you so survive. You can message me.
I'm thinking. Yeah. Try and find out if there's a way into the wall behind the cellar.
Okay. Cool. You got it.
All right, man.
Super. All right, folks, we're going to take a 7-minute break. When we come back, we will have more flying gardening tools and see what the hell happens there. All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you in a little bit.
People.
People. Levitating garden instruments. So, yeah, let's go. Let's do this thing. All right. So, first and foremost, thank you, by the way, all you guys in chat who are doing all these redemptions. Spookiness and High Taruka and Sarah, Lower Taruka. Sarah hasn't gotten anything yet, right? So just remember that, people who are doing the common Taruka pulls, right? Tempt the fates. Give one to Sarah, damn it. Give it to her.
I know my character is kind of a bitch, but that's how she was created. So like.
So, anywho,
she tries in her own weird way.
Try.
We will see. Here we go. All right, you want spooky? You get spooky. Here it comes. So let's start with this. Amnestria. The tools begin to levitate off the table and begin to vibrate. And I would like you to just stay exactly where you are. You sort of freeze for a moment as these things sort of like all point their sharp and pointy end at you. And they're going to make an attack at you.
Like surprise round.
That's a 1d20.
They're gonna make an attack against me?
They all fly in your direction.
And I...
What is your armor class?
15.
Okay, so they miss you. And you just dodge as it's literally like spears pinning against the wall, as like a scissors, a shears, a very sharp and rusty spade, a half-broken shovel, all fly in your direction and pin themselves into the wall right next to you. What do you do?
She's going to look around, just sort of make sure she's uninjured. To just be like, well, I don't know what their problem was, but everyone, I found a shovel so we can dig a hole.
Okay, it is at that point that you feel something down by your ankles.
Oh no.
You look down, saying, oh no, and see that the gross and desiccated vines from a myriad of plants have wrapped themselves around your ankles and are slowly winding their way up your legs. Please make a strength saving throw.
I can do that. Character sheet, strength.
Okay. So it is unfortunate that you find that you are unable to pull yourself out of this room. Claudiu's like, what's going on? And then he's like, his eyes grow wide with shock as these vines, like Evil Dead style, just immediately just spiral up your legs and circle themselves around your waist. And then the tips of these things, content warning, the tips of these vines begin to find purchase in every orifice within your face, if at all possible. They start to snake up into your nostrils and into your ears and into your mouth, and you are restrained.
Can I poke my head around the corner and see what's going on? I only
Let's
see part of it
roll
right now.
initiative.
Okay, there we go. I was waiting for that call. I'm like, how much are you gonna fuck her up before we get to roll initiative?
I am gonna, well, hey.
Oh, for fuck's sake, dice! What the fuck?
That's That's what I wanted to hear, I guess. Okay, here we go. Let's give some initiative
Yeah, I
here.
finally got
Dice.
initiative above 10.
Hey, there you
Fucking
go.
dice.
There you go. Let me give you some music. There we go. Let's get some music going on here.
Nat 1 on initiative.
By the way, you also
Motherfucker.
got an inspiration, Sarah.
Aw,
So if you want,
thanks,
can you
Chad.
re-roll your initiative?
I think that she would have had to have gotten it. Well, she did get it before. Do you want to re-roll initiative? Want to spend that to re-roll initiative?
Nah, I'm gonna save it for
All
something
right,
better.
fair.
But thank you, chat. I love you.
All right. So, Mikmick and Amnestria, you are tied.
Amnestria's got the higher dex.
We don't go by that. We go that with enemies versus allies. With people on the same party, I go with whoever wants to go first.
Right, I think Amnestria probably should go first.
Okay, that's fine. I would like to Misty step out of here if I can.
Nice.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, you
Nice.
poof, you turn into mist. Where do you misty step to?
The hallway? I go. Let's see. I'm here, so I go here. I think.
Let me ask you a question. Misty step, is that an ability that requires somatic, verbal components? It looks like you cannot speak because there are vines in your mouth.
Ah, damn.
Wait, does it require?
It does. It is a verbal
Oh,
component spell.
Well, then I guess I'm not doing that.
And you are suffocating. These black vines are just going. Luckily they're not going into your eyes, so you're not blinded, but you are certainly restrained. And they're starting to slowly tighten around you.
It's 1 minute plus con minutes that you can hold your breath. Yeah?
That is correct. So what is your Constitution modifier?
Well, let me find out. Come on. My Constitution modifier is a 2.
A 2. Okay, so that you can hold your breath seemingly for a very long time.
3 minutes. Nice.
Okay.
Well, if I can't do that, I guess I'll try to attack it. Can I try to do that?
You certainly can try, yeah.
I'll do it with my rapier then.
You will do it with disadvantage because you are restrained.
That is fair.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, you hit, you sort of like, and you start to swat at these vines with your rapier. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Just click the word rapier, it'll roll it for you.
In chat.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, 5 piercing damage. Yeah, you sort of like poke at the vines with your rapier. You notice that as you poke them, they sort of like start to squiggle and almost as if they're alive. And they sort of issue forth this sort of blackish gray fluid onto the floor. But they're still tightening around you. You will take, on your turn, 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Bludgeoning damage, specifically.
Yikes.
And let's see. Anything else?
I don't really think there's anything else I can
At the
do.
end of your turn, you can make another saving throw. Strength saving throw.
Why is that not working? I'm trying to... Oh, don't I have numlock? Okay. I didn't have numlock on, that's why. I changed my house. Strength saving throw. There we go.
Still waiting for it. There we go. 17. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, after this sort of thing whips and sort of maybe loosens its grip on you a little bit, you find that you're able to pull yourself out of these black vines and run wherever you'd like. You're able to move.
Under the hallway here?
Yeah, sure.
I gotta go here.
Okay. Yeah, you sort of like run out the hall. You're gonna get a point of stress. I forgot that Maeve already had one, so let me give her one too.
Well, she got
I
rid of
had
it.
a rest.
That's one
I'm sorry, not
Yeah.
Maeve. I beg your pardon. I meant to say Moy not.
I haven't had one to... Well, I also had the rest.
You
and I
got a
didn't get
point.
another one
Yeah,
back.
you got a point of stress as you came out of the. Remember? Remember where I was contemplating the point of stress? Where I was trying to like click on point of stress and you're like, oh, fair enough.
That wasn't me, that was Mick Mick.
That was
Oh, my bad. I beg your pardon.
Strength.
That was you.
Yeah.
I gotta be better at that.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough.
Both Moynat.
I was like, yeah, nothing stressful has happened to me. Ironically, she said, knocking all of the wood immediately thereafter.
There we go. Beautiful. Okay.
Just what does one point of stress?
It gives you a
give
minus
disadvantage?
1. It gives you a minus 1 on everything. Saving throws, attack rolls, and ability checks.
Okay. Probably should put that in, but anyway.
All right. Cool. We can just remember it for next time. All right. That is Amnestria's turn, I
Nice.
believe, correct? Okay. Amnestria, you sort of like take a quick glance behind you, and you see that there are still sort of writhing vines in this room. Make a perception check. I'll allow you to do this completely free.
Okay. Waiting for it to load. Perception. There it is. Not it. Very good.
Yeah, you sort of spy something that you thought might have been interesting inside the room, but you're not quite sure what it is. All right. That's it for Amnestria's turn. Mikmick, it is your turn now.
And if I needed to move past Claudiu and Muadnhait, do I need to take an extra 5 feet?
That is correct.
And that changes stuff. And I can't cast 2 spells at the same turn, right?
So you can,
Unless.
but remember the kinds of spells that you can cast. You can cast a
Yeah.
single action cantrip and then a leveled spell.
If it's a bonus action.
Correct.
Yes. Okay. So. So, I'll go with. How far to get in the room? And the pentacle creature or plant-based creature is like somewhere in here.
Yeah, it's
right?
somewhere
Up
in that
there?
room, yeah.
Okay. So, moving past.
You're a little quiet there, my friend.
I'm just working things out.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I can just get in the room. Okay. Okay, so moving parts. Just action economy is going around in my head at the moment.
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, so I think he'll do. Okay. See if this will work.
You're a barbarian.
so-
You have no excuse. You're not a wizard. Let's go. Let's
Okay,
go.
So first off, he's actually going to cast a spell.
Oh, okay.
He's going to infuse some dirt, apparently, and cast this.
Okay. Let's see what that is. Longstrider. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Which gives him an extra 10 feet of movement.
All right. All right.
So he'll use that extra 10 feet of movement to get past Muadnhait and Claudiu.
Okay. Cool.
So that would put him. So yeah, that would be 20 feet of movement to get to this square, right?
Yes. Correct.
Yes. Okay. And
Actually, it's
Suppose he's
25. 25 to get here. Right? 'Cause
25 to get there.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, and okay, so 25 there, 30, 35. Okay, so he's going to activate the long strider and run into the room.
Oh shit. Okay. Make a strength saving throw then, sir, as you run into the room.
But
Yes.
before he runs into the room, he's going to rage as a bonus action,
Super.
and
That gives you
means
advantage on strength saving throws. That's great.
Exactly.
Solid. Rah! Let's go.
Strength, advantage, some bit.
Be on top of a table?
Bah!
What is he on top of right now? Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's kind of a small, it's like a low-hanging bench
Oh, okay.
with has planters and shit, but it's not enough. He's like, fuck! And these vines just immediately wrap around him. You watch as black vines encircle our friend Mick Mick, and it just like start to creep up his legs, go straight up into you, maybe a shorter distance obviously than Amnestria, and just go right into your ears and into your nostrils and mouth. And you are suffocating, and you take... Actually, on your turn, you take the damage. But you are restrained. Actually, this is your turn. What am I talking about? You take the damage on your turn.
Yeah.
You take 4 points of damage, which is...
What kind of damage
It is
that?
bludgeoning, so you take 2.
Half that, yeah. Okay.
Very nice.
And I'm restrained currently.
You
right?
are restrained, that's correct. I'll give you a little restrained icon. Boop. There you go. Okay. So, yeah. You're good to go. Then that is Mick Mick's turn. Claudiu's like, that's not, yeah, no, that's bad. Claudiu's like, maybe I should just fireball. I can't do that yet. Should just fireball the whole room. Just takes a swig of wine. And then he brings his hands together and sort of does this motion. And you watch as a spark of... yes! A spark of sort of like orange energy just goes like... And he steps forward just to the corner of the room. Doesn't go into the room. And says, I hope you're not flammable.
But he saw what happened during
And
the
then, like, edges into the room briefly. He will have to make a strength saving throw, but he's going to edge the spell so that it goes diagonally out to the rest of the plants and not hit you.
Burning again?
Burning hands.
Nice.
So, the room, the plants get to make a saving throw, but he will, of course, need to make one first. Because he may well be making a bad decision. But hey, that's what happens. Alright, so here we go. First strength saving throw. He's a wizard. And he's got inspiration, too, so maybe I could potentially use his, if he fucks it up. So here we go. Strength saving throw. Jesus, he has a -1. Here we go. Okay, so that's an 8. I'm gonna have him use his inspiration. Roll it again, because let's go. Come on, Claudiu. Fuck. Fuckity fuck.
Damn.
That's no good.
That's not good at all.
Technically,
Yes.
when this, how about the 16?
No, we don't do it like that. We have to have the roll again.
Yeah, because that was 2 rolls, wasn't it? 8 and 16, that was 2 rolls.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So
yeah.
you could say that 16 was the second
I said I
roll.
wasn't gonna. Well, no, actually, that's not true because I said I wasn't sure if I was going to use the inspiration until after the roll.
Yeah. So that's fair.
Right. So you have to call. You have to say I'm using inspiration, and then you get the higher of the two. So, unfortunately,
Fair.
yeah, I want to play fair, and the fair is the fair. So, unfortunately, he fails the saving throw, and he is restrained as well, and he takes some damage. Shit! I hope I don't kill Alex while he's away. That would fucking destroy me. All right. He takes. Fucking hell. Let's see.
I can't.
Here we go. Four points of damage. And he is restrained. Ow! But he does manage to get out Burning Hands. And in fact, I think I have a cool-ass spell thing that I want to use here.
Nice. Yay, API stuff.
Well, it's not the API. It's actually just a really cool, like, marker for it. Because I didn't actually get to use a whole lot of the assets until sort of late in the game last time, but I want to do it now. So let me just bring it in. Here we go. Spell effects. This is Burning Hands. Let's go, let's go. Flame Cone. So as you can see now, I've got a little flame cone. And I'm going to make this 15 feet wide, like so. And I'm going to draw it like this. Like that, so it barely misses you, Mikmick. Like that. You guys can see that, hopefully?
Yeah, kind of.
I moved my character up so I could see it. I'm like, that's cool, and then I moved back down.
Okay. So yeah, whoosh! Giant flame cone into the room, burning away most of these plants and doing... It probably doesn't even get to say very well. Let's see. A D... Oh, okay. This is a... What kind of spell is this? This is a...
Ah! Hi, kitty. Thank you. Jesus Christ, cat.
What is... Burning Hands. Burning Hands is a...
I think it's Abjuration.
No. I just want to see what kind of casting it at first level,
Oh.
so it goes down to 2. Yes, a dexterity saving throw. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fail. Completely fail. Holy shit! 15 fire
Nice.
damage.
That's a good roll. Is that third level?
First level. It's 3d6.
3d6 at first level? Shit.
So 15 out of possible 18 fire damage.
That was a nice roll.
Hell yes. These things immediately immolate and burn away to nothing, and that is that.
Okay, well, fine. I guess
They
I
are,
don't have to do
they are,
anything.
you don't have 15 plus the damage that's already been done to these things so far. Nadia left. And these things just wither away into ash on the floor. And we are out of combat.
So are we done then?
Yeah, you guys are no longer restrained, so.
That was exciting. Just gonna brush my way into the room and look around.
Okay. Excuse me.
Well, the good news is we found the shovels.
Suppose that
do
is
look-
true.
There
I
are,
don't
in
know.
fact, shovels in this room, yes.
Don't know how much use a shovel is against solid stone, but it's a start.
Two things of note. I want you all, first of all, to make perception checks to see what you see.
BC, okay. Yes, not a 1.
I literally have not rolled above a 15 tonight.
It happens.
Fucking dice.
Amnestria. I'm going to bypass all the ability checks from Claudiu unless you guys all fail. But Amnestria, you notice two things. Notice the first is that there are cracks now that run through the conservatory's windows, and they spell a word. And the word is uninvited. That's the first thing. The second thing that you notice is that there is only one plant standing in this room after the massive, fiery, arsonish damage that has been done by Claudiu. Almost as if it hasn't even been touched. A plant in the corner with fat, black berries upon it. And it is alive and flourishing in this room.
Well, I don't believe we should stay in this room for very long unless we wish to be tangled up again, or maybe do. I don't know. But I don't think we're invited.
I can think of worse ways to spend an evening, but the plant has been immolate it. I'm going to nose around the room.
Okay.
Can I make an investigation check to see if there's anything hidden in here that we haven't noticed?
By all means.
I clicked it. Come on. There we go. God damn it!
The dice, they are not with you.
Dice really do not like Muadnhait today.
You don't notice anything beyond what you see in the room. There's just ash all over the floor. The pots have been, immeasurably destroyed. There's the glass etching that has sort of been almost as if it's like cracks of glass across.
How close is Muadnhait to that plant?
She's actually right next to it. It's this one right here.
Why not? I probably wouldn't go near the strange plant that was not burned in the inferno by our...
Why not? You're right next to it. Go ahead and make a nature check on the plant that's being indicated by Amnestria.
I don't know shit.
Don't recognize this plant. It's a land plant.
No, it's...
Well,
Well,
it's
it's
Strange
this.
thing, though.
Could I also do a nature check, Matt?
You can get closer to it, if sure.
Alright, we'll do that.
Okay.
Is that close enough?
Nope, not close enough.
Oh, well,
I'll step up one if you want to come check it out.
just kind of sit on the table. And, swivel on over.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit me with a nature check.
You're... See now... Where be the nature? I'm not bad at this.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
That's a 20 with your stress. You recognize this plant as the plant known as belladonna. It's even got that beautiful holly-like structure that you saw splayed across the shield of the symbol of Ezra in the upstairs bedroom.
How big is this plant?
Foot and a half, 2 foot.
It's in a pot though, right?
Yeah.
Does she relay to us what it is?
Absolutely. I think this is the thing you were looking for before on this picture upstairs.
Oh. Now that you point it out, I think you're right. Perhaps this will help us through the, creepy glowing green door, hmm?
I have no idea, but if you want to take the plant, please, by all means.
I don't know if I need the plant. I think we probably just need a sprig. And I will pull out my dagger to cut a sprig from the plant.
Okay. You do so easily.
Alright, I will add 1 sprig of belladonna to my inventory.
Alright.
How heavy does this plant look like?
What's that?
How heavy is this plant, do you think?
How heavy's the plant?
Yeah, like
In the pot? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's too heavy. Maybe like 5 pounds, 10 pounds at the most.
hey, can I pick it up?
Sure.
Is she just gonna take the whole plant?
She is going to take the whole plant. Okay.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Amnestria, add plant minus 1 sprig to your inventory. Claudiu's like, what are you doing with that plant?
Well, this plant isn't eating me or trying to do unspeakable things to me, so I'm fine with this.
You're welcome, by the way.
I mean, I saved myself, but I appreciate your efforts nonetheless.
I'll take that for what it's worth.
Is this a door?
It is.
Then I will open it.
All right. That room that you have just opened is some kind of a sitting room. You see that there's a couch, horribly patched in places. Moth-eaten tapestries on the walls, a rug that's worn away almost completely, and a hearth.
We'll give the hearth a bit of a berth. There seem to be anything interesting or out of place in this room?
Make an investigation check. With a 10, let's see. Let's see what you
I hate
find.
that I can't put the dice in roll 20 in dice jail. I really hate it.
How many
They
times
would
are you
all-
going to give me dice? How many
They would
times?
all be in dice jail right now. The RNG is in dice jail right now. I'm gonna start rolling d20s over here.
Just to see if you actually get as many 10s as you think. On the table, you
Now this one just gave me a shitty roll too, so all the dice hate me tonight.
on the table, you find something interesting though. With a 10, you find a shiny brass candlestick.
Does it have a candle in it?
It does not.
Okay, well. I'll take that along. The tiny one seems to always be in need of light.
Seeing why not investigate the room, can I also investigate the room? To
Sure.
see how that goes? Well, not much better.
Yeah, you
No.
don't find very
Yeah.
much more in this room than what you see.
Yeah,
I'll actually, just out of curiosity, put a candle in the candlestick and light it.
Okay. You put the candle into the... I found this out, by the way, that the space where you put a candle in a candlestick is called the pricket.
I
Didn't
did
know
not
this.
know this.
So you put the candlestick into the pricket and light it. As you watch, it literally burns down in like 4 seconds.
Well,
That
that is
ain't-
strange. Trying to remember, do we have a member of this party who has identify?
Yes.
Is it Claudiu or Mick Mick? I don't
It
remember.
is Mick Mick, correct?
Right.
Mick Mick, you still with us, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, just making sure. You've been quiet. I'm like, what's he
Yeah.
doing? He's planning.
Yeah,
He's waiting.
Tiny one.
Mikmick is currently just cooling down from the rage, kind of shocked that it happened. So he's kind of out of it. Just what just happened? And just heavily breathing as he's trying to get out of the rage.
Gonna call out to this room. Anyone?
Moina, is that you again? Where did you go?
Yes. Around the corner, this way. Follow my voice.
Basically, we'll just walk past. Claudio.
Cabe has
Oh,
come out into the hallway. Having heard the enormous noise of the flaming spell cast by Claudiu and the ensuing chaos that has just occurred afterwards. And they say, whoa, 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 what's going on?
Just fighting some plants again. So, you know, the usual stuff.
That was not
And
usual.
Mick winks at him. The usual stuff.
Okay.
Before entering the room.
Anyone? You seem to be adept at figuring out how things work. I put a candle in this candlestick and it burnt down in about, I don't know, 2 seconds. That seemed rather odd to me.
It has, actually.
Could you take a look at this?
Yeah, I can take a look at that candlestick holder. But, I mean, the only reason why it would burn down that quickly is bad materials. But I can have a...
In my candles,
look.
I assure you they're fine. Or rather, I assume they are. I don't actually know, but still, check out the stick, won't you?
Okay, so... can you give me 10 minutes to have a good look at it, or...
By all
want
means. I'm gonna
Cabe sort of
flop
wanders
down on the dusty couch.
Yeah, as you're doing that, Cabe actually sort of like wanders into the hallway and sees some of you and says, just hey, I didn't want to like bother you. I was just talking to Claudiu. We're ready to go. We're ready to do this thing. I'm ready to do the seance if you are.
10 minutes? Small one?
10
Like-
minutes? Sure, absolutely. I'll see you in the parlor. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. And they disappear back into the parlor.
Yeah, Mikmick will be ritually casting Identify.
Sure.
There's another door here, right?
There is one more door there. Yes.
Let us open it.
All right. Very good. It's not down there actually. It's
Oh.
it's a little further south of you.
So, like here?
Like here.
Or here? Oh, okay.
Yep.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
I know it's the walls.
I'm
all right.
keeping an eye on Mick Mick while he casts the spell.
Absolutely. Amnestria, you open this room. It is yet another of these sort of finely furnished, although completely ransacked and decrepit, sitting rooms. This one has multiple chairs, a couch, some kind of a bottle over here. You don't see very much more than that from where you're currently standing. You'd have to go inside to see more.
Step in the room.
You step into
See
the
what's going on
room.
here.
You do see that there is a sort of a bear's head mounted to the back wall, a couple of broken pieces of finery in the back, and of course, a hearth.
How attached is that bear head? Would Andy get closer to find out?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, here-ish?
Yeah, a little closer.
Okay.
You want to know what's attached to it?
I just want to know how attached it is to the fireplace.
Oh, how attached is it? You want to sort of like reach your hands up and see if you can pull it down? Is that what you're trying to do?
Absolutely.
Like, is it glued to the wall or is it just hung to the wall?
By all means, go for it. Just sort of reach up there.
Strength?
Yeah, make a
That
strength.
is-
Make a strength check if you see if you want to pull it down.
Sure. Just waiting for it to load and strength.
Okay. Yeah, you reach up your hands and you start to pull the bear head down. And as you do so, the bear head sort of moves its head in your direction and its mouth opens just a little bit. And you just hear the faintest
Oh, Amnestria is really excited about this.
Sure.
Yeah, do I need to do any more to pull it down?
You want to
Can
keep
I?
pulling it?
Heck yeah.
Okay, fantastic. You try to pull it off, and the bear head just takes a big old bite at you. So here we go. It's gonna make a roll against your AC. The things we do. All right.
I thought I was the only one who did stupid shit in this
Hey,
game.
it's cool.
Thank you.
I like people who do stupid shit. This is a +5. That's a 21 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna hit.
Yeah, that bear just latches onto your arm. And you're like, ah, fuck. And he'll do, oh god.
It's gonna hurt.
Yeah, huh? 1d4 plus 3. 7 points of damage.
Bad bear.
That's a bad bear.
You're just gonna hear her yell from the other.
And as the bear's jaws clamp onto your arm, and you scream, the bear suddenly deanimates as you pull it off the wall, and you toss the bear head down onto the ground. Its fangs are just red with your blood. And you look down at it, and it is no longer moving.
Hearing her yell, I will move down the hall to see what the hell just happened.
I mean, if the head's not moving anymore, she's gonna pick it up
Okay.
and just kind of hold it in front of her face, but
Yep.
maybe not come
It's
into the
just
room.
like, it looks just like a really, like, horrifically angry, golden-eyed bear. Head.
I come in and I see her holding this and also bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, everything all right?
The furniture has bitten me. It seems as though it did not like me removing it from the mantle, but joke's on it, I removed it either way.
Okay. I'm just gonna go back out again. And go back to keep an eye on Mikmick while he casts the spell.
Okay. 10 minutes later, Mikmick, you do end up casting the Identify spell on this candlestick. It's not magical.
Okay, Muadnhait. I didn't sense any magic auras coming off this candlestick, so unless there's something else, I cannot tell.
That is odd indeed. Let me see that again. I'm gonna take it back from him. I'm gonna walk down the hall into the seance room. Gonna sit down in this chair, plunk it down on the table, put another candle in it, and light it.
Okay. You do so, and again, within seconds, the candle just... all the wax just melts, like as in a time lapse, just super fast. And as you do so, all the lights in the room go out this time. All the candles, all the lamps, and you are bathed in darkness. And Atlantic says, "It's a good thing I'm an elf, or I'd be extremely upset."
Don't blame me, it's the candlestick.
Arthur, are you all right? I'm fine, Atlantic. Yes, would you mind relighting the lights then, please? Certainly. And you see that, like, a small flint and tinder sparks, and you see a lantern appears in Arthur's hand, and he begins to relight the lights on the table.
I will put the candlestick of darkness in my bag.
Okay.
As he's
Alrighty. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
as he's doing this, can I do I want to aim the bear head into the doorway and just make a bear sound, make like a roaring sound.
Make a performance check.
Absolutely. See if this works out or not.
It's a pretty convincing bear sound. Everyone sort of turns quickly to the door. And then they see that you're just standing there holding the bear head with your arm still bleeding, and everyone goes, "What in the..."
Oh, sorry. I probably should have made that more clear. I wanted to just have the bear head facing through the
so just like,
exactly.
look, I'm puppeteering a bear. Okay, I
Yeah.
getcha. Yeah.
No.
It's pretty clear that it's not just a floating bear head. They see your hands around it, but it's still pretty clear that it's also a pretty decent sound of a bear. So yeah, they were all convinced for a sec. Can you make a what?
Can I make an attack roll with this firearm?
Sure.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. Don't get a nat one. Don't get a nat one.
Unfortunately, I don't have the firearm in my inventory, so...
Oh, well. Go ahead and roll a d20
yeah, I'll just
plus
roll a
your
D20.
ranged attack skill modifier
I don't
plus
know
your
what my
proficiency.
range attack would be.
It's your
That
dexterity
would be-
modifier. Dexterity plus proficiency, if you are proficient with firearms.
I am proficient with I am proficient with firearms because artificer.
Yep.
At DM's discretion, apparently.
Yes. So DM says go with a firearm, and blam!
But that 9 plus whatever my bonuses are. Plus there's 1 from dexterity, I think.
Okay.
It is.
So
So
10.
plus 3.
So you have a dex of what now? Let's take a look. You have a
Plus 1.
So 1
plus
plus 3.
one.
Okay, so that's a 12. Yeah. Amnestria, what is your armor class?
15.
Okay, yeah. The shot goes wide and just the entire like side of the lintel of the door frame splinters. And everyone's like, what in the blazes? They look over at you, and this just enormous, just rocking explosion has come out of the barrel of this device, Muadnhait. You've never seen something, except maybe like it's like a miniature version of a cannon that you've seen on ships.
I just kind of sit there for a moment and I say, you land dwellers will go to no ends to destroy each other, won't you?
That was awesome. I want that gun. I don't care about the bear head anymore. I'm just gonna throw it away.
Boom! The bear head just rolls across the floor.
Oh,
Cabe says, all right, now that that's over and done with, can you all crazy people please just sit around this table so we can get this fucking seance over with?
relax,
Crazy.
small one. You only said it's us in danger, not you. I smile.
I'm insulted you'd call me crazy. Mildly insane at best.
Well, we're all crazy in our own ways. Please, please, Amnestria, just have a seat.
Can I have the gun?
You've already got a weapon that you can use.
Not
Amnestria.
like that.
Unless you want to swap.
Children! Later, please.
This is where the party really begins to gel, like over firearms. Just saying.
Just saying, you have the really nice stabby thing, and all I have is this
You can
rapier end.
fight over the best way to kill each other later. Let's just get the seance over with, as the small one says, yes?
Where's my dagger?
Where's that?
Oh! You mean this? You
I-
left it stabbed into a wall yesterday morning.
Well, I'm sure the wall probably deserved it. I have it back. Or not. You could keep it if
By
you...
all means, I have my own. But Muadnhait is definitely looking at her like, you are fucking crazy.
Well, you're not wrong.
All right.
So, firearm?
Fit.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll swap after the seance. How about that?
What?
Your crossbow with the firearm.
You can't have my crossbow. I need that.
Children. Shh.
No matter how much
I
Sarah
love
tries
Muadnhait
not
being
to
the mother.
be that character, she always ends up being that character. Anyway, children, shush.
Shut the fuck up. It's true. It's true.
All right. With the rain and wind beating at the house, Cabe begins the final seance. So Cabe says the words as you all put your fingers on the planchette and says the following. All right, here we go. Hopefully this is the last one, because I don't know how much more I'm gonna want to do this. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. So, yeah. Here we go. And Cabe says, okay, everybody please close your eyes. All right. So. Spirits of the house, we are strangers who come openly and without malice. Like almost like saying it like a little louder this time. We seek only to know your stories and to help you find peace. We entreat you, please make your presence known. And you all watch as the planchette again begins to move. And then
Are we
I'll
going to
bring-
move to the spirit board?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Here you go. Spirit board time.
Hey.
And you guys can all see now that 2 out of these 5 symbols have been scratched out. As you do so, the planchette moves to greetings, almost before Cabe begins to speak. Like immediately to greetings. To whom are we speaking? Who are we and then immediately before Cabe finishes, the planchette moves to Garland.
And as soon as hits D, Mick's gonna go, okay. Hello. So everybody say hello to Garland again.
And then the
He's come
planchette
back.
continues to move. K-O-R-D-Z. And then back to the I.
Chords?
Cabe says, chords? Planchette
Garland
moves to
chords.
yes. And back to the I. You're all welcome to ask questions now. You don't even need to make an insight. Cabe is fucking terrified.
Okay, so
Garland,
Mick Mick-
why should we trust you?
The planchette moves to a series of letters that spell words. C-A-N-H-E-L-P-Y-O-U-G-E-T-H-O-M-E. And then back to the I.
Alright, I'm listening.
Who else wants to ask a question? I'll save Claudiu to last.
Mikmick will say, hey, Garland, what is your relationship to either the Halvorist family, or Myra, or Dog?
Cabe looks at you and says, that question's really kind of like open-ended. Can you be a little bit more, like, just yes or no, or small answers?
Pretty much,
Maybe his relationship
okay.
to the house?
yeah. What is your reason for being here? Or why are you here, more the point?
The planchette moves C-A-N-T-G-E-T-O-U-T. And then H-E-W-O-N-T-L-E-T-M-E. And back to the I.
What was that one?
Can't get out,
Can't get
she
out.
won't let me.
That's the
Okay. Okay, Amnestria?
Is the answer in the basement for how to help you leave?
The planchette
Oh.
moves to no.
Well, then,
Moves back to the I.
And Claudiu asks.
Claudio asks, because that sort of screwed him up for a second. He was just about to ask about the wall. He says,
Well, could be the door now.
Well, I'm confused because you said that Wait. And you can see that in Claudiu's head, he's like thinking. And I'm gonna make him do an intelligence check.
Oh, he's a wizard, so he should be pretty decent intelligence.
He does, yeah, he has a pretty decent intelligence, but it's up to him. Player and character sometimes are sometimes just a schmeez bit different. Here we go. Intelligence check. 19. He says, "Where can we find you, Garland Cords?" And then the planchette begins to move. The planchette goes UNDERSTAIRS. Under the stairs? What do you mean under the stairs? And then the planchette starts to spin. Now I can't do it here, but I don't know if you guys can see that, but it just starts to sort of spin. It spins to each of you. It spins to one, then the other, then the other, and then the other. And the house sort of begins to, it's almost like you're in like a high rise. It's almost like you feel like the walls are beginning to sort of groan and shake a little bit. You hear just like the creaking of the floorboards and the groaning of the walls. And then finally, the planchette moves to 5 more words. SHEICHEICH. And then the final 2 words where we're going to end tonight. FREEE. M-E. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
That is not the final 2 words I thought I'd get. That we'd get.
Fuck you? I don't know.
No, I thought it was gonna say she is coming for you. I'm like, oh no.
For you?
I thought it was gonna be she is coming, get out.
Get out!
I was thinking it was gonna be she's coming to get revenge or something like that.
You guys can all take it however you'd like. But I have some good news for you all, folks. Welcome to level 3.
Yes, baby.
So, when we see you guys again, you will be level 3. And I think you might notice that the house is just a little bit different
Oh dear.
when you finish your leveling up processes. But that's for another time. Thank you all in chat for hanging out with us and staying with us for this very spooky episode of Ravenloft, the Domains of Dread. I thank you from the bottom of my cold, dark heart as a dungeon master, and want to introduce you once more the amazing people who make this happen, all about me. Let's go with... Who's good to start this way? Well, let's go with Alex, and then we'll flip. Well, it's actually over here. Alex is _Alex_Lorenzo. He's the coolest dude ever, and so you should hang out. Oh my God! Look, my hand is like phasing through the wall here. I gotta fix that. I think it's just the zoom window. That's weird. And let's try fixing that. Let's try it now. There we go. No more phasing. Hooray. Yeah, Alex _Lorenzo. He's the guy over here that he's no longer here because he's sick, and the dude's in Florida, and he still plays fucking D&D.
As you do.
The guy Like he's the guy.
The
So
man, the myth, the legend.
absolutely. So thank you for doing nothing on his social media to make it any worse than it possibly is right now, which is nothing because he doesn't post anything. So that's it. Let's flop on down to Maeve. Maeve, go ahead and tell our loving audience where we and they can find you on the internet.
Well, for the most part, you can simply find me at Maeve Climber on Twitter. I post art, I occasionally leave witty quips, and just be kind of sassy. And I'm looking forward to doing a little bit more art soon, so hoping to post some stuff. And also hoping I don't need to make any more portraits for aliens, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's kind of like, it's good and it's bad. It's like, yay, I get to make more portraits. Bad. I get to make more portraits because they're all dying.
Bad people keep dying.
I mean, yeah.
Good news, we're probably going to come back sometime in, I think, the first or second portion of December. Well, there's only two portions, first or second portion. I would say first or second week of December for Aliens episode 9, I think. Episode 9.
Wow.
Cool. So we will schedule that as it happens. So thank you very much, Maeve. Moving on over to the man in that corner, bottom left. That is Red Platinum. Red, where can people find you on the internet?
Like Alex, I rarely post anywhere on the social media websites. I mean, I did post to Twitter, one post to Twitter last week, but that's about it. Other than that, you can find me on the Slices and Dice's Discord probably, and more often than not, probably on Steam.
I'm gonna play some more Aliens Fire 2. Some good shit. I can't get through the last level with the bots. They suck. They're so bad. They constantly make me die. I need people who have like decent, like human skills to help me through these last levels of this game. Can't do it.
Even my bad human skills.
Yes. Your bad human skills are better than any bot. It's just ingenuity of humanity. What are you gonna do? Cool. Thank you very much, Red. Moving on, finally, to the woman right over here, directly to my left. That is Sarah. Sarah, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me on the internet at Lovely Llama on Twitter and Instagram, where you will see pictures of my cat, food that I cook, and occasionally bizarre construction things from work.
Cool.
Yeah.
How's work doing?
I
by
got
the way?
for
Work is good?
It's fucking amazing. I love my new job.
Yay! I'm
It's
so
very cool.
happy. That's fantastic. All right. I've been the DM tonight. My name's Matt G, and you can find me here hosting and producing and doing fucking amazing shit with role-playing games with amazing people. With amazing people watching, hopefully. And subbing
week,
and
Thursday,
doing all kinds of
Bennett.
stuff. And yeah, so we will be back next Thursday, the 2nd of December, for Mass Effect 5e. Which I will be helping to just get all the cool, kooky people together. I think, is Richard coming in for that game? We'll see. He might be the guy to come in and get all you suckers straight, because we need a Richard. Richard is like he's like the ringer. He just comes in. He's like, oh, did I hear a role playing game? I'm just gonna come in here and sell places. So that's it. I'm done. So yeah, we'll get Mass Effect 5e going on Thursday, and then next Friday. Finally, the game before I go on vacation will be episode 6 of Ravenloft Domains of Dread, where you guys will get to see what the hell is going on, what's behind the curtain,
And what happens when they
beneath
hit
the
level
stairs.
3?
and what happens when we hit level 3. That's right. And
You're
whether or
going
not
on
that's
vacation?
enough.
Where are you going?
Oh, I'm going to Disney World.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, going to Disney World for a week. Well, not only Disney World. I think we might go to Universal too. We'll see.
Are you staying in the Star Wars hotel?
It's not open yet.
Ah,
Nor
that's
do I
nice.
have the
That kind of money.
insane
Yeah, I
amount.
know. I'm sure it's so expensive.
It's nonsensical how much that is.
This is expensive anyway.
One day,
that.
when they decide to make the original trilogy rather than the sequel trilogy the sort of mainstay of that hotel,
There you go.
and they drop the price about 30 to 50%, then maybe we'll talk.
All right, that's
We'll
fair.
talk. Because it looks amazing. It looks like all kinds
It
of cool
looks
shit happens.
So cool, but also so expensive.
But super expensive. Like, what do you think, Disney? You think I'm made of money? Oh, that's right.
You think I can afford a week's salary for one night in a hotel room? What is wrong with you?
We like Disney, though. If Disney decided to sponsor us, we would love it.
Hey guys.
That would be great.
Hey.
I would Disney-fy the fuck out of Ravenloft. Hello,
Question
Mickey.
is, how would you do that?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse is the Dark Lord of his own fucking domain right there.
I mean, I'll turn Moynot into the Little Mermaid. Why the fuck
Yes,
not?
this is so good. Oh my god, I can see this. I can see this working so well.
So what would Mikmick be
I
then?
mean,
The
Bard
Hunchback of
College
Notre
is-
Dame, probably. I'm just kidding.
her Bard College is coming in. She might start singing.
The Little Mermaid, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Amnestria. I don't know. Amnestria. I feel like
Robin
Amnestria
Hood?
is like Amnestria.
Marita
is...
from Brave.
Yes, Brave.
Love it.
Yes.
I have a brave tattoo actually.
Okay.
Nice.
And Claudiu is like, okay, who's Claudiu's Disney representation? Are there vampires in Disney?
No.
Come on.
But
We gotta
Frollo
Who?
from the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh yeah.
Frollo.
No, he's not that bad. He's not like a villain.
yeah,
Come on,
that's
come on, people in chat. You guys know Disney probably. He's got like a
The
he's
Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
possibly,
No.
Maybe.
I like that.
possibly.
Trying to come up with non-male, like non-villain, non-Prince Charming male Disney characters, and there are not a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to think. Maybe he's like specifically made his characters so that they would not be Disneyfied.
Would not surprise me.
Well, whatever.
I
it
mean,
is.
like Moynot is kind of like somewhere in between the Little Mermaid and Ursula, so
Super. That said, yeah, back in a week, or less than a week, actually, Thursday. So we'll see you then, folks. Until then, thanks for watching. We love you. Don't forget, or I should say, remember, take care of each other. But don't forget to take care of yourselves. Have a great week, folks. We love you. Bye.